LA's LeBron James and Anthony Davis listed as doubtful. James has an ankle sprain. Davis has missed the last several weeks with a midfoot sprain. The way things have been going for the Lakers, they should shut down LeBron the rest of this NBA season, believes our Jay Williams.
This team is not going to win a championship. So LeBron James competing at an ultimate high level with a left sore knee that can hinder him, with a left twisted ankle. Now you're going to try to have him come back and play on those injuries and average 40 points in order for you to make the play-in tournament? Focus for what's coming up next, which is the health of LeBron James.
JF Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max. Lakers Mavericks coverage 7 Eastern on ESPN Radio. A change coming for NFL overtime in the playoffs. Owners today approved a rule proposal that guarantees both teams have a possession. OT in the regular season does stay the same, where a team can win on the opening possession if it scores a touchdown. The Ravens signed coach John Harbaugh to a 3-year extension. He's under contract with Baltimore through 2025.
Think O'Reilly Auto Parts for all of your car care needs. We're close, convenient, and known for our guaranteed everyday low prices and excellent customer service from professional parts people you can trust. Stop by your local O'Reilly Auto Parts today. O'Reilly Auto Parts. Better parts, better prices every day.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios. That's right.
And off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
Love you, Matt.
Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. Man, we got a ton to do today. Football Tigers are back on the practice field. NFL owners meetings going on in gorgeous South Florida right now. We'll go there. Dellenger will go to Capitol Hill in about 15 minutes. T-Dub, Todd Walker in hour 3. We've got a ton to do today. Excited to get to all of it. It is official. The Saints have signed former Bengals, Cowboys, Bears quarterback Andy Dalton. It's a 1-year deal worth up to $6 million. He's getting $3 million guaranteed. Undeniably, this is a backup option. They're bringing Andy Dalton in to back up Jameis Winston, who is the starting quarterback for the New Orleans Saints. I told you on the show yesterday, a lot of you rolled your eyes, but I told you on the show yesterday, I thought the New Orleans Saints were better right now already than they were at the end of last season. That's not pandering. I think you all, if you listen to the show, know well enough that's not really my thing. But when you look at the fact that by the end of the season you're playing Taysom Hill at quarterback, well, now you've got Jameis Winston as your starting quarterback. Taysom Hill can go back to his slash role, which makes you better on offense. Michael Thomas will be there, which automatically makes your offense and your receiver room better. Your offensive line, you were missing every starter except Cesar Ruiz for long periods of time a year ago. Even losing Armstead, you played 9 games last year without Teron Armstead. Like, you were better right now than you were a year ago already. And now look at your quarterback situation. Jameis Winston is your starter. He's your starting quarterback. Do you realize that it wasn't until August 27th a year ago? Remember, Jameis and Taysom were battling in camp for the starter's role. And even though I kept insisting, and a lot of people, not just me, a lot of people insisted, look, this is going to be Jameis. We know it's an inevitability. A lot of the reports were, man, don't rule out Taysom. He's playing okay. He's playing pretty good. And then, remember, Taysom started the first preseason game. So it was August 27th. You were 16 days before the opener until they named a starter last year. So now you go into this offseason knowing Jameis Winston is your starting quarterback. Jameis Winston knows he's your starting quarterback. Taysom Hill's not trying to be a quarterback. Taysom Hill knows he's playing his slash role, which makes you better on offense having him in that role. And by the way, Jameis Winston, Andy Dalton is a better option than Jameis Winston, Trevor Siemian. Andy Dalton, he's 34 years old. He's at the end of his career. I get it. But Trevor Siemian in his career has started 29 games. Andy Dalton has started 148. Trevor Siemian has thrown for 6,800 yards. Andy Dalton's thrown for 35,000 yards. Trevor Siemian's thrown for 41 touchdowns. Andy Dalton's thrown for 226 touchdowns. Each of the last 3 years, your starting quarterback has been injured for a long stretch of time. And we have seen each of the last 3 years, Teddy Bridgewater, Taysom Hill, Trevor Siemian start at quarterback for the Saints while the starter was out. Andy Dalton is more accomplished than all three of those guys I just mentioned combined. If you look statistically, Andy Dalton's career numbers are better than the combination of Teddy Bridgewater, Trevor Siemian, and Taysom Hill. And it's not particularly close. I'm not sitting here telling you Andy Dalton's coming in to be the savior of the franchise. My hope, sincerely, is that you don't even need Andy Dalton at any point this year. I mean, that would be the ideal situation, is that Jameis Winston stays healthy, goes, plays a full 17 games, you make the playoffs, and he's your guy for the next decade. That'd be the hope. But if you get into a situation where turned ankle, quarterback jams his thumb on Aaron Donald's helmet, you need someone for 5 weeks, well, you got a guy that's been a really accomplished player. You are better now than you were a year ago. I will continue to say that over and over and over again. Now, this certainly means that Taysom Hill is no longer even considered a quarterback. As a matter of fact, we've talked a lot here on the necessity of the Saints adding to the tight end room. Unfortunately, it was a disappointing year last year for Adam Troutman. Garrett Griffin has already signed a free agent deal with the Lions. Nick Van Ette's still hanging around. But you need an option there. And Dennis Allen at the owners' meetings today on Tuesday did talk a little about Taysom morphing into that role a little bit.
I think the role for Taysom really is going to be a lot more of the kind of F tight end, move tight end type of role. I think that's the direction that we need to move with him, because I think he can be one of the better players in the league in that role. And so I don't like having Taysom. If Jameis is out there playing quarterback, I don't really like Taysom standing next to me on the sideline. And so I think you'll see him more in that type of role.
Amen. Which, as we said, makes you better. When you have Taysom in that role, it makes your offense more difficult to defend. When Jameis was playing quarterback, when Drew Brees was playing quarterback, whenever Taysom would play quarterback, you lose that Taysom element in your offense. So yes, I'm very, very much in favor of this. It was obvious. We've said it here forever. Taysom was never going to be a starting quarterback in the NFL. That was Sean Payton trying to outsmart the room. I'm okay with him trying because he's Sean Payton, and that's largely what he does. He is mostly smarter than everybody in the room, and he'll onside kick to start the second half of a Super Bowl. He'll also try to make Taysom Hill a starting quarterback. And in so doing, he made Taysom Hill a really versatile player in the NFL. Offensively, found a role for him, and I think he'll be really good. Now, there is one potentially to this Taysom Hill, to this Andy Dalton signing. We all have become very aware of the compensatory pick model. Now, the NFL does not release the compensatory pick model, so we don't know exactly how it works and how they formulate it. Nick Court writes for Over the Cap, and he's got a Twitter account. He's on Twitter at Nick Court, Korte. And he's done his best looking at all the compensatory picks to figure out the numbers and the salaries and algorithm, how the NFL makes it work, although it's never exact. But he tweeted after Schefter reported Dalton to the Saints, Nick Court tweeted, even if the APY for compensatory pick purposes is only the guaranteed amount of $3 million, it's enough to qualify Andy Dalton as a compensatory free agent. And that currently means by signing Dalton, the Saints cancel their projected third or fourth round compensatory pick for Teron Armstead's departure. Now, he does go on to say, Andy Dalton's contract won't match with Teron Armstead's for the compensatory pick purposes. So if they lose another compensatory free agent, the third or fourth rounder could come back, meaning if you lose P.J. Williams, if you lose Ken Crawley, if you lose Quan Alexander, if you lose Kenny Stills, those are the players he mentions. Now, I told you that I thought with the Saints signing Daniel Sorensen, that means P.J. Williams is no longer in New Orleans. If someone swoops in and signs P.J. Williams, that could be a big boost for the Saints. But I'm going to tell y'all straight up, for on-field purposes, I like Andy Dalton as your backup. I like it for all the reasons we just talked about. Guy's thrown for 35,000 yards in his career. If you need him to go win you a Super Bowl, that's not great. If you need him to keep the train on the tracks for a few weeks till you get your starter back, I can live with that. But not at this cost. Y'all, if having Andy Dalton for 1 year costs you a compensatory third-round pick, that's terrible mismanagement by the Saints front office. Again, that's not confirmed. We don't know. That's a guy who professionally does this, who's put that out there today. And I think, talked about it last week when they signed Sorensen, it's probably the end of P.J. Williams in New Orleans, and maybe this is evidence of that. But y'all, do you realize what the Saints have done in the third round in this era? Paulson Adebo, third rounder. Bond and Troutman, same draft, third rounder. Now, neither of those have panned out great, but both have had the possibility to be good players. In the same draft, Alvin Kamara, Alex Anzalone, Trey Hendrickson, all three in the third round. All three NFL starters. All three really good players. Two of them Pro Bowl caliber players. You got P.J. Williams in the third round. You drafted Teron Armstead in the third round. You drafted Jimmy Graham in the third round. Became an All-Pro. My point is, I could argue, in this era of Saints football, they've been more productive in round 3 of the draft than in any other round. If you're going to give up a third-round pick to have a backup quarterback for 1 year, I'm not good with that. Yeah, we're going to wait and see. That's not confirmed. And it could all be moot if, say, P.J. Williams signs somewhere else, which may well be the case, as we talked about last week. But file that one away because that could become very significant. On the field for 2022, I like having Andy Dalton as the Saints' backup quarterback behind Jameis Winston. The offensive structure is much more aligned right now than it was at this point a year ago. I don't even think that's debatable. All right, it's after further review. Let me knock out a break. We'll come back. We're going to go up to D.C. Our buddy Ross Dellenger is going to join us. There's a bill about to go through Congress that could have a massive impact on the current NCAA investigation into LSU football and basketball. Wait until you hear this next.
AFR.
Brought to you by River Cities 1 Hour Air, where they're always on time. Or you don't pay a dime. 752-0001, 752-0001, 752-0001, or 1hourbr.com. It's coming, y'all. I know there's bad weather tomorrow, but 82 today. You know good and gosh darn well those triple-digit temps, they are a-coming. Before they get here, make sure you have your home central AC tuned up, checked out by River Cities 1 Hour Air. It's the preseason AC tune-up. Now is the time. Take care of your AC before the triple-digit temps. Say it all the time. You wouldn't go on a cross-country trip without getting your car's oil changed, the tires rotated, make sure everything's good. You shouldn't go into summer in Louisiana without having your AC tuned up. River Cities 1 Hour Air. 752-0001, 752-0001. They're always hiring as well. So if you're looking for a career instead of a job, give them a call. River Cities 1 Hour Air. 752-0001.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
A poll question's already up. 1045 ESPN on Twitter. Do you like the Andy Dalton signing? Yes or no? Go vote. You can always watch us on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel. You can listen in Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria online, or watch us on the Watch 1045 ESPN YouTube channel, where if you're watching right now, you'll see Ross Dellenger's face on TV. He joins us from D.C. How are you, man? Tell me out there.
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm good. How are you?
All right.
Good. Okay. Saw your tweet earlier today and then read your report at SI. I'm going to ask you to way oversimplify a very lengthy report sort of as a launching off point here. So tell us what we need to know in third grade fashion.
Well, I think first you need to know that everyone out there, if there's one thing they agree on, even politicians, it is that changes need to come to the NCAA enforcement and infractions process. You'll find a pretty much unanimous agreement that there needs to be change. And so two senators have proposed a bill, each one Democrat, one Republican. So it's a bipartisan bill. Cory Booker, a Democrat, Marsha Blackburn, the Republican, proposing a bill to do just that, overhaul the NCAA infractions process. We've seen a lot of bills over the last 2 years, in Congress created to have NCAA reform. And this is another one. This one touches on something that a lot of the others haven't, which, again, is the infractions process. So basically the bill would establish deadlines right, and on different requirements for the NCAA during their investigations for violations in the schools, and would have requirements and deadlines and then penalties. The Department of Justice would oversee a lot of it. So that's kind of it in a nutshell.
The thing that grabbed my attention the most when I saw your tweet, and then I did read your piece as well, so I'm not just a tweet reader, you do highlight that the bill would prohibit the NCAA from punishing schools for violations 2+ years old. Would that be retroactive to where, if this passes, the NCAA couldn't punish LSU because the alleged violations involving men's basketball date back to 2017?
I don't think it would be retroactive. I mean, I don't see that anywhere in the bill's language that it would be retroactive. In fact, I'm looking at the bill right now, and the last section is effective date, and the effective date no later than 1 year after the date of enactment of this act. So it wouldn't go back like years.
Sure.
So no, I think the answer to that is no.
So the other thing that's interesting is, well, there's a lot interesting, but that investigations need to be complete in 8 months. That just doesn't even seem plausible for the NCAA today as it exists. So this feels like, and maybe I'm just asking you for a reaction, this feels like Congress trying to blow up the NCAA. Do you get the same read? Or is it they're just trying to make them move faster?
Well, let's look at it. Let's look at the two individuals who have proposed this bill. Cory Booker, New Jersey, Democrat, and Marsha Blackburn, Republican from Tennessee. Cory Booker's been outspoken for the last several years. He's a former Stanford tight end, by the way, but He's been outspoken for years on the NCAA and publicly one of its biggest critics, not just on Capitol Hill, but just nationally. He's been one of the biggest critics. Marsha Blackburn, similarly, an outspoken critic of the NCAA, who just so happens, Matt, to reside in a state where there are two pretty significant investigations ongoing, one into Memphis basketball and another into Tennessee football. And Marsha Blackburn, as well as other lawmakers, have been pretty outspoken about the Memphis situation. And so I think you got to look at, as far as you're trying to find like motives, for this bill. I think you got to look there first off, right? It's just the hate for the NCAA and the hate for NCAA investigations. And I think one of the big things is how long these things have gone, especially in the case of where Marsha Blackburn's from, in Tennessee. They've just dragged on and on years. Everybody at LSU knows, right, that the LSU investigation, I think, was almost 4 years old, I believe, I want to say.
I think we're going on 5.
So, okay. It's incredible. So I think it is, part of this is probably how long it takes,
Ross Dellenger is with us on Twitter at Ross Dellenger. The IARP, you also write about this. The IARP was founded as part of the Rice Commission, and this was meant to solve complex cases, but if I'm reading correctly, the general feeling is all this has done is just cause things to drag out exceptionally long. Two-part, is the IARP going away? And if so, what does that mean for these complex cases?
It seems to me, and the IARP, by the way, came out of the Condoleezza Rice Commission from a few years back, that was formed because of all the FBI investigations. And this is one of the recommendations, was to create this alternate route for investigations, and it just hasn't worked out for whatever reason. It's just dragged on and on. And I think this was the case in LSU's situation, is the NCAA, actually Infractions Committee, did their work on LSU, and the IARP, it it was then pushed from that to the IARP. And the IARP then did another investigation, basically. They interviewed a lot of the same people, I heard, down at LSU. It just was like a second investigation. And so, of course, that's going to drag it on. It hasn't gone as smooth. In some reporting my colleague Pat Forty has done, it does seem to, it looks like that the IRP may be going away. And we got to remember, during the NCAA transformation committee that's been meeting the last couple months and is supposed to create some kind of, I don't know, new maybe governance structure. This is one of the topics they're discussing is a new enforcement mechanism or overhauling the enforcement process and the infractions process. So I think we're going to be looking at a different infractions process pretty soon here, whether it comes from Congress or the NCAA itself.
Okay, a couple more. Ross Dellenger is with us. Specifically, if you're just joining us, as a bipartisan bill, which, by the way, has it been introduced, Ross? I saw in your piece it was supposed to be today. Has it formally been introduced in Congress?
I don't know that. I haven't seen a statement from either lawmaker. We've got, I'll rephrase. I haven't seen like a statement announcing the bill. I did get a statement, just a quote from Marsha Blackburn's office about it, but I haven't seen a release yet. So it makes me think that they haven't actually officially introduced it just yet, but it should happen pretty soon.
Okay, two things. Number one, what's a realistic time frame to get this moved through Congress? Because obviously you'd have to have both branches approve, right, and then the president sign the bill. So what's a realistic timetable here?
Well, Congress moves slow,
right,
as everyone knows, and so you're definitely not looking at days, and you're probably not looking at weeks, right? So this is a months type situation. Who knows? It could be a years type situation. There are a lot of bigger things that Congress is dealing with right now, and they move so slow that it would surprise me if this was expedited in some way. Now, that said, as I mentioned earlier, right, there's been a half a dozen or maybe more than a dozen bills over the last few years introduced that center around NCAA reform in college sports, and most of them are one-sided. They're just there's one side of the aisle. This one is not only both sides of the aisle, but you've got it in the Senate, the more powerful body with more high-profile people, and you've got two people here, and I mentioned it earlier, one from the Northeast, a black man from the Northeast, and a white woman Republican from the South. These two do not agree on a whole lot politically, and the fact that they have come together makes a lot of people think, wait, maybe this has some kind of chance to get some momentum. So there does seem to be, for people who know much more about the political game than me, does seem to be some fuel that this one has that other maybe bills haven't.
Hatred for the NCAA, bringing both sides of the aisle in Congress together. It's just what it took. All of our mutual hate for the NCAA. All right, before you go, what about the person who says, why is Congress messing around with NCAA infractions? What does this matter to Congress?
Well, you can kind of blame the NCAA, right? And it's something I really didn't get into in my story, but I've certainly written about it a lot in the past. It's been 2.5 years since the NCAA, or since Mark Emmert, the president of the NCAA, came before Congress. It was November, December 2019, and pleaded with Congress to create a bill, a federal law on name, image, and likeness. And he just kind of opened the door to congressional involvement in college athletics, which for so long the NCAA tried to keep that out. And he invited it, the NCAA invited it. And it's kind of one of those be careful what you wish for, right? Now Congress's eyes are very firmly set on college sports, and they're gonna explore, they're gonna examine, they're going to poke and prod, and this is just another example of it.
He is Ross Dellenger on Twitter at Ross Dellenger. Get by, read his stuff today over at SI.com. It's a free story. I think that's worth mentioning. Bipartisan bill in Congress seeks overhaul of NCAA infractions process. This could be the thing that makes the NCAA go kaboom. I mean, it might be the theoretical sort of lighting of the fuse. Ross, good stuff, man. We appreciate it as always. I know it's a busy day. Thanks.
All right, man. Thank you.
We'll see you. That is Delly. This is After Further Review. Looking forward to talking to Ross more about football stuff. That'll happen soon. But that's a massively significant story because if you do have bipartisan support for that bill and it passes and the if Congress starts to get involved with monitoring how the NCAA conducts its business with regards to its investigations, all of a sudden the NCAA is accountable to Congress. Right now, the NCAA is accountable to no one. I mean, literally, they are judge, jury, executioner. They plan out everything they do. I mean, even, part of what Ross mentions in here is as part of an appeal, if a school is punished right now, you appeal to the NCAA. You would appeal to a 3-arbiter panel different than the current appeals committee. So even the appeals process would change if this bill passes. So we'll follow it. And Congress moves slowly. It probably won't mean anything short-term for LSU, but in the sense of what NIL has meant for perception of, say, Reggie Bush, passing this might do the same for perception of Will Wade, LSU basketball. I mean, it's absurd that the programs involved in this 2017 FBI investigation have had such massive just chasms with how they've handled it, from Will Wade being fired to Bruce Pearl and Bill Self being given lifetime contracts. Both of those programs were involved in the same investigation. So the answer eventually is blow up the NCAA, at least or not blow up the NCAA, but college football and major college basketball disassociating with the NCAA and being their own entity. They're too big. They're monoliths. They're billion-dollar organizations that cannot be governed by the NCAA. It's not possible. It's an antiquated model. It's an antiquated viewpoint, and something eventually is going to push, or many things eventually will push these two sports away from the NCAA. The NCAA's purpose is to create championships largely. And the NCAA overseeing the Division II lacrosse championship, fantastic, great, wonderful job. The NCAA trying to regulate and punish hundreds of Division I schools and how they're spending their money and what coaches are making phone calls and when, and it's an antiquated model. It needs to be done, and we're one step closer with that bill today. All right, it's After Further Review. We'll knock out a quick break. We'll come back. We'll go around the SEC. Stick around. It's AFR.
AFR.
We're brought to you by Pluckers, Nicholson, and Bluebonnet. Dine in or carry out or delivery. Uber Eats, DoorDash. 24 flavors of award-winning jumbo chicken wings. Ice cold draft beer. Full-service bar. Sports on TV. Tonight, LSU ULM at the Box. The Nicholson Pluckers location is just south of Alec Box Stadium. You could walk to the Box from Pluckers. Maybe get a bite to eat and have a nice little walk off your dinner. But either way, Tuesday's a great night to get by Pluckers. Kids eat free. So if you want to get the whole family out, eat affordably, you can do that at Pluckers. You got a baseball game tonight, so before or after the game, if you want to grab a bite to eat, you can do that. Or if you need a place to watch LSU and ULM tonight, you can get by Pluckers. Nicholson or Bluebonnet. Dine in, carry out, delivery. Uber Eats or DoorDash. If you want your wings delivered to you, that's at Pluckers, either location. Award-winning jumbo chicken wings, ice-cold draft beer, full-service bar, sports on TV, sports trivia tonight at Nicholson. Pluckers, you don't like our wings. We'll give you the bird.
If home is where the heart is, a roof is a shield. That's why for over 25 years, South Louisiana always turns to Garcia Roofing and Sheet Metal. For more information, visit GarciaDidMyRoof.com.
There it is, the extra mile. on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Auctioner.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pop?
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Well, I've done it. I've solved the great share conundrum of the 104.5 ESPN studio. Can't believe I didn't think of this option sooner. Literally, I've done it. Look, I'll stand up and show. Paulie, I don't know if you want to get like the wide shot here. I don't know if maybe from that camera people will be able to see. Well, you probably can't, can you? I'll hold it up. This was a wonderful gift from Mr. Dennis Denicola. Shout out. It is he gave this gift to me. He gifted this to me some time ago. For those that are not watching, I'll have to describe it for you. I got to find my center here. But years ago, when LSU renovated Tiger Stadium, they took some of the yellow chairbacks and sold them. Well, this is a yellow chairback seat from Tiger Stadium that Dennis had finished, painted the handles purple. It's a gold chairback. And then he embroidered on the front and back with football material and the Tiger Eye logo. And this has been in my office upstairs for years. And it is the perfect height. And I will, and because it is it's a swivel, so I can swivel. Well, you know what I have to look out for them use. They keep pinching my mic.
I was going to say the TV behind you, but
no.
Yeah, I mean that.
I'm
not sure we have that thing to block. Yeah.
No, I'm far out of the way of that. Remember, I can't roll. I can swivel, but I can't roll. T-Bob broke the TV because he rolled his chair into it. There's no wheels on it.
I was in here for that. Is it comfortable?
Old Chris Farley there. Bull in a china shop. Yes, it's very comfortable.
Right.
I mean, it's considering what I was sitting in,
Fair.
where I had to sit to the front edge of the seat, and it was lean, so I had this knot in the lower left of my back because of that chair. This is a flat, sturdy surface. If I want to sit on the end of it, put my foot down, I can. If I want to sit back, I can. If I want to swivel to face this camera or this camera, I can. And you know what I never have to worry about?
Falling down in the chair.
I never have to worry about being below this surface. Think about all the outrageous outbursts that could have been prevented had I just brought this down years before. But by the way, nobody else in this building is sitting in this chair. Nobody.
Did you also just...
Not you, not Mario, not T-Bob, nobody. As soon as the show's over, this is going back in my office, and tomorrow I'll bring it back down at 3. I've been through this before. Nobody's breaking my chair. No one else's ass is sitting in this chair except mine.
Did you just kill the bit, though?
I don't care if I did.
Okay.
Because it really wasn't it got to where it was no longer a bit. Like, everyone has now recognized
that is true.
How bad that situation is in the studio. It's unbelievable. It's a gorgeous studio, outfitted meticulously. Like, this set was built by a set production company in Philadelphia. There are flat screens everywhere. This is the Mike and Mike radio set from 2015 or so. Like, it is the design we used. I mean, it's gorgeous. Guarantee spent a ton of money on this, which is amazing. This video studio we have. They got everything right except the chairs. But I fixed it today. It's a glorious day. It's almost like I can breathe again, Muse. I can breathe today.
I'm happy for you. I am.
Truly. I don't care if you are.
No, but I am.
I'm happy for myself. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. Now, the one thing I do have to figure out, though, I have to get myself aligned properly. You know, I have to have the chair set in a certain, because I can't roll it, right? So I need to scoot it up a little bit. This way, I think, is probably a little bit better where I need to be. Oh, I like that. Okay. South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. As a matter of fact, just got a text from Brad Bove over there at South Point, like literally as we were starting that segment. So, man, the parts for your Atlas will be in tomorrow. I am fired up. Ugh. Been without my Atlas since December when I got hit. It's just the nature of how it's been in the industry right now, trying to get parts. But I'm excited to get my Atlas back. If you want to drive Volkswagen Atlas or any different make or model, you can test drive one today at South Point Volkswagen, Louisiana's largest volume Volkswagen dealer, airline just north of Highlander, southpointvw.com. South Point Volkswagen, what's your direction? Okay, we do it every day about this time. Let's go around the SEC.
Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products, excellence in imaging solutions. The Florida Gators.
Florida men's basketball coach Todd Golden has announced the program's first assistant coach. Florida's hired Kevin Hovde, H-O-V-D-E, as an assistant coach. Comes to Gainesville from the University of Richmond. Golden and Hovde, they worked together for 7 years between San Francisco and Columbia. The Athletic is also reporting that Jonathan Saffer will join Golden's staff, and Corey McCray, who served as an assistant coach the last 7 years at Mississippi State under Ben Howland, and he also coached at LSU in 2014.
The Ole Miss Rebels.
Ole Miss junior guard Luis Rodriguez. He's entering the transfer portal. Rodriguez, former 3-star prospect, number 2 player in the state of Connecticut. Led the Rebels with 42 steals this year. Also was second on the team in rebounds. Rodriguez was the only Rebel to start in all 28 games this season, but he will play elsewhere next season.
The Arkansas Razorbacks.
Arkansas guard Chance Moore is entering the transfer portal. A freshman appeared in just 5 games for the Razorbacks. Moore signed as a 4-star prospect in 2021. He was the number 93 player in the country, but no worries. Eric Musselman's gotten a commitment from 6'7", 5-star point guard Anthony Black, who's announced his commitment to the Hogs over Gonzaga, TCU, Okie State, and the G League. Black is the number 14 overall prospect in the nation. He is the 3rd 5-star and 3rd McDonald's All-American for the Razorbacks in this class.
The Missouri Tigers.
New Mizzou coach Dennis Gates has landed his 2nd recruit in as many days. Milwaukee senior guard DeAndre Golston has pledged to Mizzou. He's got just 1 year of eligibility remaining. He's a 6'5" guard from Gary, Indiana, played for 3 college programs over the last 4 years. On the diamond tonight in the SEC, virtually everybody in the league is in action. Georgia is hosting Georgia Southern. Kentucky hosts Eastern Kentucky. Mizzou is hosting Illinois. Mississippi State and Memphis are playing in. I believe that game might have been postponed today. Vandy is at Lipscomb. South Carolina hosts Presbyterian. Auburn hosts Jacksonville State. Alabama hosts South Alabama. Big one in the Sunshine State as Florida and Florida State meet up tonight. Texas A&M on the road in Austin against Texas. Ole Miss hosts North Alabama. LSU, ULM, of course, and Arkansas will host Little Rock tonight. There you have it. That is Around the SEC, presented by Gulf Coast Office Products. Shout out to our guy Trey Beal and our friends Gulf Coast Office Products. Online at gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com for Gulf Coast Office Products. Face-to-face sales, service after the sale, 45 years in business, a national Savin dealer leader. But they proudly sell the Savin line, but they will service all different makes and models. That is Gulf Coast Office Products, gcopnet.com, gcopnet.com, official office equipment provider of the LSU Tigers, the New Orleans Saints, the New Orleans Pelicans, and the ULL Ragin' Cajuns. Gulf Coast Office Products. All right, it's after further review. I'll talk beer with Feinswog in about 30 minutes. Todd Walker to start hour 3, but when we come back in about 15 minutes to start hour 2, we'll be back right after this break, but to start hour 2, I do want to delve into some of what Jay Johnson said at his coach's show last night. A lot of people asked about Florida hitting 8 LSU hitters on Sunday and if there should have been ejections. Jay Johnson did address that on his coach's show. We're going to get to that in about 15 minutes. We'll knock out a quick break, come back. Another LSU basketball player is in the transfer portal. We're talking about it next on AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Rouse's. What an amazing time. Springtime is, God, it's such a great time of year. When the weather is beautiful, the sky is blue, the temperatures are calm and cool, a little breezy, and it's crawfish weather. That's what it is right now at Rouse's. Remember, Rouse's has the best prices on crawfish live and boiled. You having your own crawfish bowl? Cool. They sell you live crawfish, and you can get your pot, your boiling pot. You can get your paddles, all the different onions and lemon and mushrooms and everything you're going to throw in the pot. They have it all there. Turnkey, everything you need for a crawfish bowl at your house, Rouse's has. They also boil their own crawfish. And because there's so many stores and they have their own in-house boiling rooms, nobody in the state boils more crawfish every day than Rouse's. It is prepackaged, priced, ready to roll. They boil them, package them, price them, set them out, grab, and go. That's at Rouse's. Rouse's.com to find the location nearest you. Rouse's, the official supermarket of LSU Athletics.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary. Those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Okay, another LSU basketball player is in the transfer portal. We'll get to that in just a moment. Muse, you received a text during the break.
I did. Good friend of the show, Larry Holder, texted in. Yeah, Uncle Larry texted in and wanted me to ask you, in regards to the chair, the next time he fills in, can he use the new chair?
Can Larry use my chair?
Yes. Because, look, the last time Larry was here, he just shrunk throughout a couple of the segments, and he learned of the horrors of the chairs in here. He just wanted to know.
Do you remember in the last segment when I came in here and I brought my new chair? And I said, nobody's ass is sitting in this chair but mine?
Yes.
What about that was unclear?
Larry just thought he'd ask. Look, Larry.
And then you decided to take precious airtime to pass that along to me.
Well, he asked me.
When I gave you, I very, very clearly stated my intention with this chair. I'll say it again, Muse. And to Uncle Larry, who's listening, and to everybody else who might at one point find themselves in this studio. Mine is the only ass that will sit in this chair. Ever. Are we clear?
I'm clear.
I never lock the door to my office.
Uh-oh.
I never lock the door to my office. So, it's not my office. It's not my building. We have good people here. I don't think anybody's going to steal from me. But I'll tell you this. From now on, when I leave in the evening, I'm locking the door to my office.
Now you are, yeah.
And no one is ever sitting in this chair but me. I refuse to allow the people who obliterated our gorgeous chairs we had when we first launched 104.5 ESPN to do the same to this chair. No one will sit in this chair ever. And Gordy Rush, if you're listening right now, and if you try to pull a fast one and go into my office and steal my chair, I'll know it was you. And there will be hell to pay. That precious little Jesuit helmet you have in your office, try me. Try me, big guy. Good news for you. All right, it's official. Matt McMahon has added the first transfer of his tenure at LSU. It's Kendall Coleman from Northwestern State out of Captain Shreve, 6'8", 220. Actually played against LSU this past year. Played pretty well. Against the Tigers, he had a double-double, 16 and 13 in 33 minutes in the game against LSU this year. Also scored double figures against Oklahoma, SMU, A&M, Houston, Baylor. So, he against the bigger opponents they played, Kendall Coleman played well. So 6'8", 220, he's transferring to LSU. He's joining the squad. Now, Jarrell Colbert, however, is on the way out. Billy Embody, among others, are reporting that Jarrell Colbert is in the transfer portal. Colbert, you might remember, former top 100 overall prospect. He reclassified to join LSU this year, as did Justice Williams. Hot dog. It's unfortunate because I mentioned when people have asked who were the players on this LSU team that might return. And we've already seen, obviously, Tari Eason's declared for the draft. Darius Days is going pro. Xavier Pinson, Brandon Murray.
Murray, present.
Sharif O'Neal, have all entered the transfer portal. Adam Miller reportedly entered the portal and then later came and said, I haven't decided anything yet. And now Jarrell Colbert. Colbert and when you look at the players who didn't contribute this past year, Colbert and Ezawairo were the two that I thought might actually return. You're still waiting on word from Reed, Fudge, Gaines, Justice. And Mwani. So those are the 5 you're waiting on right now. But Eason Days, Pinson, Murray, O'Neal, Colbert, and Miller
Murray,
potentially.
Prisons.
That's 7. That's more than half your scholarship players are already out the door. It's going to be a big rebuild. But first one, Kendall Coleman, already in the boat for Matt McMahon. All right, hour 2 after SportsCenter.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Williamson Eye Center, WilliamsonEye.com, 924-2020, 924-2020, or WilliamsonEye.com. I saw this pop up on Facebook over the weekend, and it was such a cool post. Dr. Blake obviously had a surgery day on Friday, and this was such a cool post from one of his patients. It was a Chelsea Roussel who posted on Facebook, if you're ever thinking about getting LASIK, don't walk, run. It's amazing how quickly I was able to see right after. I've been wearing glasses since I was 6 years old. This is the best feeling ever. I cannot begin to tell you how much I agree with Chelsea. If you live your life with contacts or glasses, if you are perpetually unable to see, if you've lived your life not being able to see, the gift of sight is transformative. Give yourself the gift of sight like I did. Let the Williamson Eye Center help. 924-2020, 924-2020. Don't walk, run to the Williamson Eye Center.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Hey, look what I found!
The motivation I needed to live healthier. My new favorite sport.
I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed. Time for myself. We found our why.
Have you found yours?
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals. But many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Le posso offrire un caffè? Andiamo insieme da me, non c'è.
Call Mr. Electric today for electrical repairs, upgrades, and installations.
Sports Center.
I'm Christine Lisi. Going forward, both teams in NFL playoff games guaranteed a possession in overtime. That rule proposal approved today by NFL owners. The regular season OT stays the same. Jimmy Garoppolo might be hanging around San Francisco for the 2022 season. Coach Kyle Shanahan today admitted he sees a scenario where the veteran quarterback is on the 49ers roster this upcoming season. Trade talks slowed by Jimmy G's shoulder surgery. The Niners should not be looking to move on from Garoppolo just yet, advises ESPN's Mike Tannenbaum.
It's a 17-game season. I want depth at the most critical position. Unless I am blown away by draft choice compensation, I'm going to the season with two guys that I like and bring Trey Lance along slowly and then move on from Jimmy G next year.
Mike Tannenbaum on Get Up when asked who his starter would be if Garoppolo and Trey Lance are on the roster. Shanahan declined to say. Ravens signed coach John Harbaugh to a 3-year extension, so he's under contract through 2025 with Baltimore. NBA, Lakers LeBron James and Anthony Davis both doubtful tonight in Dallas. Coverage at 7 Eastern, ESPN Radio and the ESPN app.
When you're trying to hire and fill open jobs, the searching, screening, and interviewing can become its own job. You need Indeed. Their powerful hiring platform makes it easy to attract, interview, and hire quality people. Visit Indeed.com/credit.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say it one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 2, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Matt, I am sweating. Paul O'Neill.
They're chanting Paul O'Neill's name.
Musu. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. All right, we're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. By the way, excited this Friday and Monday. AFR will be in New Orleans in the French Quarter as we preview the Final Four. It's going to be a great weekend, man. You got Duke and North Carolina down there, Kansas, Villanova, 4 of college basketball's blue bloods, great fan bases that are going to travel. It is going to be a magnificent weekend for the city of New Orleans, for the whole region, to have the Final Four back in New Orleans, to have those 4 fan bases. Coach K's final year, first ever Duke-Carolina matchup in the NCAA tournament. We're excited to be part of it. So AFR, I know OTB and AFR will both be live in New Orleans on Friday and again on Monday. So very much looking forward to that. If you're in New Orleans, make plans to come see us. We'll give you full details in the coming days. All right, LSU-ULM, baseball tonight at the Box. 6:30 first pitch. Excited for this one. Todd Walker 1 hour from right now. We'll go a little deeper dive into the team coming out of the Florida weekend. We'll look at the SEC as a whole. Of course, Todd played at LSU, but he covers the whole league for the SEC network, so we'll delve into that in about an hour. But Jay Johnson had his media availability yesterday around noon. Full disclosure, I was not able to attend media availability yesterday for Jay Johnson, but he had his first coaches show last night. So moving forward, Mondays, TJ Ribbs on Acadian, Jay Johnson show. You can hear it on Eagle 98.1 at 7 o'clock. And there was one, so I did listen, and there was one caller who asked 2 questions. And it was a little bit later in the show. But had I been at Jay Johnson's media availability, I would have asked these 2 questions. So good on this caller who got both of them in, because I thought they were both very relevant questions. One of them very relevant from an on-field standpoint. The other from a psychology standpoint. Jay Johnson gave really good answers to both. The question was why LSU didn't wear gold on Sunday, which they've traditionally done. Their championship gold on Sunday. And the other was about the Florida pitchers, which hit 8 LSU batters on Sunday, yet there were no ejections. Muse, I think you have this in one cut. I want to take them individually, though. It's just one cut. I want to take the answers individually.
It's just one of the answers. I didn't get the uniform, and I must have skipped over it. I was just skimming through and heard the ejection thing.
It's number 5 on here.
Yeah, that's just about the ejections.
Go back and get the uniform thing. Let's hear about the ejections first. Jay was asked about why he didn't, his thoughts on there not being any ejections in the game.
I think it was after Hayden's home run, our bench was pretty excited, which was after the 3rd or 4th hit by pitch of the game. And I was kind of looking to the next thing, looking who was in the bullpen, what move they were going to make next, kind of resetting the inning. I don't think we had any outs, so it was like getting to the next hitter, which was Cade, like as a chance to get another inning going, like a leadoff inning going. And so I moved to that, and he came over to me, and he's like, hey, if you guys hit anybody, the pitcher's going to be ejected, and you're going to be ejected. And I was like, what are you talking about? Like, and I said, why? He goes, I'm not putting up with this anymore. This is ridiculous. Your dugout's out of control. I was like, hey, timeout. I was like, Hunter Barco's a great pitcher on Friday night, but he started this stuff from the first hitter of the game on Friday. And so I just said, hey, I'm not ever going to tell a player to throw at a hitter intentionally. That will never happen. Like, I don't believe ethically that's the right thing as a college coach. So I just want you to know that's my stance on it. And if you kick me out of the game, we're going to have a real problem here if you think we got one right now. And so I turned to the bench and I just said, hey, man, go for it. You know, if they don't like it, they can stop it. And the best way you can stop them is by continuing to get on base and continuing to score runs. And that's what we did. So I was really proud of how the team responded.
Okay, a couple of things there. So Jay's right. First and foremost, LSU's first batter of the weekend was Trey Morgan, and Hunter Barco hit him. Now, it was a breaking pitch that hit him on his back foot or back lower leg. It was most certainly, I wouldn't think, intentional. Why? If you're Hunter Barco and you have a lead, actually, I guess Florida batted at the bottom of the first, but why would you hit Trey Morgan knowing you've got Cruz and Doty and Barry? Why would you put their leadoff man on with that murderer's row coming? It just didn't make sense. It wouldn't make sense at all for Barco to hit Morgan intentionally. Now, the other thing that's interesting is I did tell you yesterday my feeling was that the one pitch that I thought I'd say that one was fishy was when they hit Gavin Dugas. Now, in the 4th inning on Sunday, they hit Jordan Thompson in the back, but that was a breaking ball, like a big looping breaking ball that hit Jordan Thompson in the middle of the back. Like, if you're going to hit somebody, you don't throw a big looping breaking ball like that. You beat them. So I don't think that was intentional. And then Joe Bear homered. After Joe Bear's homer, they threw a fastball and hit Gavin Dugas for like the 4th time in the game. And they hit Gavin Dugas square, like in the arm. I think that one was intentional. And then Travinsky came up and hit the 2-run homer, and he pimped it. He walked like 12 steps toward first base, and I think that, him pimping it, was a bleep you to Florida for hitting Gavin Dugas. I think that's one. Now, the other two things about what Jay Johnson said there. Said the ump came to him and said, if you hit anybody, the pitcher's out and you're gone. The umpire, I don't know if he gave that same warning to the Florida bench, but clearly he didn't, because Florida would go on to hit 4 more LSU batters in that game. So if you were saying if anybody else gets hit, you're out, well, clearly that wasn't a warning given to both benches. It was only one given to LSU. LSU peacocked. They were loud. They were boisterous. They had tons of energy. There was a lot of chirping. The whole team came out of the dugout after home runs, and it pissed Florida off. There's no other way to say it. They were squarely in Florida's head. My feeling is, when that's my team, I'm going, hell yeah, give them the business. When it's the other team, I'm like, basically the way LSU fans felt about Tennessee last year in the Super Regional. That's kind of the vibe from this weekend. Was what Tennessee was last year in the Super Regional. And not too many people around here like that. And I can understand it when you're losing and they're still giving you the business. But Jay's right. The best way for Florida to stop it was get LSU out. They couldn't. And Jay said, keep it up. Y'all do you. And they kept rolling. So I will be very interested to see what it sounds like tonight. It's one thing when you're putting it on Florida in Gainesville, in their new park, in an SEC stadium. It's another when it's a 6:30 game on a Tuesday against ULM on a short week when you got to turn around and play Auburn in 2 days. I'll be curious. Does it look and feel and sound the same way tonight as it did over the weekend? A couple of other things from Jay Johnson on his coach's show last night. Do you have the you do? Okay. He was asked about why they didn't wear gold on Sunday. Here was Jay's answer.
I do look at a jersey request as a small thing I can kind of give back to them when I demand a lot out of them. And so it was past midnight. I was up in my room watching tape on Ryan Slater, the Sunday starter for Florida, and I got a call from one of the players and said, "Hey, Coach, we want to wear the grays again tomorrow." And I said, "Well, if you wear them the way you did today, I'm fine with that." The gold jerseys are one of my favorite things about here, and they're called champion golds, at least within the program. But the word championship comes before gold. So if you play, I think we'd all rather play like a champion than matter what color we wear. And I take all the tradition here very seriously. So that is not making light of that at all. But keeping these young men in the right frame of mind is the most important part of my job. And I felt like if that was going to keep them in the right frame of mind to attack the game the way that we want them to and the way that they did Saturday night, then I felt like it was worth that decision.
I really do love that answer. We all love tradition. We all want to see certain uniforms. Sunday gold has been a thing since Skip broke out the golds in '96, and I get it, why it matters. Like y'all know I'm as big an LSU baseball fan as you'll find. I'm into it, all of it. If the players say, "Hey, Coach, we want to wear grays, we're feeling good in it," like last year in the regional, correct me if I'm wrong, but last year in the regionals, didn't they wear gold like they were looking good? Didn't they? Muse, do you remember? They were wearing gold like every game in the Eugene regional.
It was a lot. It was a lot.
They started winning in it, and so they just kept wearing them. Like, I'm good with that. If you're feeling it and it's a vibe and you need something over a 56-game regular season or something that's going to make you feel good, I'm for it. I'm okay with it. And I love his explanation as well. It's not dissing any type of tradition, but he's going to put his own spin on the uniforms. That's fine. Two more things. Let's do this really quickly. Garrett Edwards hadn't been out there for a while, been a little injured. Here was an update.
Garrett Edwards is fine. He's pitched a few times. Actually had a good meeting with him today on some things he needs to do to get more in the mix of what we're doing. He had a knee injury leading into the season, and he did a great job of getting back as quick as he could. But I do think that's affected his ability to throw the ball with the intent that he wants to. But we're back to getting closer to full health with Garrett, and I feel good about him.
One of the things that I do like about Garrett Edwards, and we talk about this LSU staff, really the only lefty you have that you can rely on is Riley Cooper. Most of LSU staff are stock righties, guys that all look the same, throw the same. So when you can find someone like a Paul Gervais, who's 6'10", with this whip and comes from a different angle, that's valuable because it looks different, right? It looks different, makes the hitter change his eye level, all that sort of stuff. Same thing with Garrett Edwards. Garrett Edwards is tall and lanky, and he kind of unwinds and has that whip-like delivery. So getting him back healthy, I think he can have a very real, valuable role on this team. The same, obviously, goes without saying with Alex Milazzo because of how good he is defensively behind the plate. Here was an update.
Yeah, he took the trip with us. He was not on the active roster this weekend. By far the most aggressive in terms of what I saw him doing with Corey Couture, our trainer, in terms of moving around. He can do most things he needs to do to play. I do not want to bring him back too early and re-aggravate the injury because that could, potentially cost him the rest of the season, which we obviously don't want that. He's a great defensive catcher and a big, big part of our team. But we're a lot closer today than we were a week ago, and it's taken maybe a little longer than I know Alex wanted or any of us wanted, but I think we're getting much closer. I think within a week or two we'll have him back and available. That
is the prudent thing to do because you're going to need him. All right, it's after further review. Feinswog's next. Talk some hoops, some Final Four, some beer. Todd Walker in about 45 minutes. NFL overtime rules changes. That's coming up in about 15 minutes. A lot to do. Glad you're here. It's AFR.
AFR.
Tuesday show is brought to you by Insurance Network of Louisiana. They're online at lainsurance.net, lainsurance.net. Tell you every single day, better coverage for less money. Give you great examples all the time, how much people have saved. And a lot of times I throw out things like when people save $3,000, $5,000, $7,000, $15,000 annually on their coverage. It's crazy, some of these numbers that I've been able to share with you. But so many times what's more important is getting better coverage. And a lot of people learn that during Ida. If you filed a claim and your insurance didn't approve you or you found out you had this massive hurricane deductible, like if you want better coverage, sometimes that's as valuable or more valuable than saving money on your coverage each month. But maybe you can do both. Let Insurance Network of Louisiana shop for free to find you better coverage for less money. 293-0450, 293-0450, 293-0450. Call right now. They're there at the office. Get this process started. It's easy and it's free. 293-0450 or lainsurance.net.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Auctioner Health.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors, it's the law.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana, call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Hey, Lee, how are you?
Hello, Matt. Can the last LSU basketball player leaving the program please turn off the lights?
No, we'll get there, but first things first. Down go the Boilermakers.
And we talked about remember last week we talked about him playing St. Peter's, and you said, no, root for the big guys.
Yeah, I did. I was so. I did. By the way, I
laugh.
won a crap load of money on North Carolina covering the 8.5, whatever it was, against St. Peter's. What an absolute joke that was. Won a buttload of money on Duke too, pummeling Arkansas. What a joke they were.
Did you?
Yeah, absolutely. You kidding me?
Good.
So, what was your thought?
Well, it's anytime you have a so-called blue blood Final Four, it's always good, right?
Yep.
Good for the sport. Interesting thoughts about each one of them. It's funny when Jay Wright I never thought was a very good coach. I thought that was a bad hire. And then over the course of the last decade, he's certainly proven me wrong. He's one of the great coaches ever and does a fantastic job. Kansas is so deeply rooted in basketball, and it's as thoroughbred as they come. The loudest arena I've ever been in for a basketball game, hands down, Fog Hallen Fieldhouse.
Okay.
Nothing even comes close. And Hubert Davis, taking an 8th seed, doing a real nice job. And, there's the whole Krzyzewski story, which, I don't care one way or another about. I'll give you a Krzyzewski story, though, if you want one.
I would love one.
So my first year at the Winston-Salem Journal newspaper was Krzyzewski's first year at Duke.
Oh, wait, now, I knew you worked in Missouri, but I didn't know
I worked at I came here from the Winston-Salem Journal.
Oh,
so,
okay.
I happened to go in on a Sunday afternoon. I was I was supposed to hold down the fort for a few hours till anybody else came. And one of the sports writers' phones rang, and I picked it up, sports, Lee Feinswog. It was Mike. I remember he specifically asked for the NASCAR guy. His name was Mike Mulhern. And I said, he's not in. Can I take a message? He goes, yeah, this is Mike Krzyzewski. I'm the basketball coach at Duke. And I said, hi, Mike. And I said, I'll take the message. And I took his number. Of course, that was pre-cell, so I wouldn't have the cell phone number now. But I said, can I ask you something? He said, sure. I said, the way your name is spelled, shouldn't it be like Krzyzewski? And he said, I guess, but that's just how we've always said it. That was the only time I ever talked to him until many, many years later when covering him and interviewing him fortunately over a number of occasions. Of course, LSU played at Duke in about 1990 or 91. Chris Webber was making his official visit to Duke when LSU lost at Duke. Yeah. No, it's nice. It's cool.
Are you not in the least bit moved by how cool it is that the winningest coach in the history of the sport is going to be in a Final Four in his final season? I mean, and then playing North Carolina. This is poetry, man. This couldn't possibly be any better.
Oh, it could be a lot better. St. Peter's could have been there.
Are you
instead
kidding
of Carolina.
me?
That would have been. That'd have been.
Who wants to
way
see St.
fun.
Peter's? Like, this is the point I was making. Like, it's a
No,
fun,
no,
nice
no,
story
Matt,
of the first
Matt,
day.
you're
But,
missing-
man, at this point, Duke, Carolina in the Final Four, Coach K is final game. Like, this is amazing theater.
It's good. And, I have a friend who's a Carolina fan and was disappointed that the NCAA selection committee didn't have the foresight to put Duke and North Carolina in opposite brackets so they would only meet in the final. And I said, really? They got plenty of other things on their mind over who might, end up playing whoever in rivalries because there's so many other considerations. I don't care that they're playing in the semifinals or the final. But,
I can't imagine being so jaded that you can't even realize how amazing this is.
So you're missing the point of what's made March Madness and why people love the tournament, because of the grassroots that anybody can get there. You don't think people were more excited about when Butler played Duke than when Carolina played Duke?
I will guarantee you.
That was.
So hold on. First
Okay.
First of all, that was a national championship game. Okay.
Right.
So we'll wait and see what happens on Monday. But I will put this out there that the semifinal on Saturday between Duke and North Carolina, which I think is going to be a great game either way because those two teams generally play great games, that will be the highest rated semifinal in I don't know about like when there were 3 channels, what numbers were, what TV ratings were, but in this era of the NCAA tournament, that will be the highest rated semifinal game ever in this era.
I mean, you may be right. I don't know what the west half of the country is going to care about as much. But I do think that there's a prospect there for 3 great basketball games because you've got 3 really good teams that are playing extremely well. Nobody should get blown out.
Who do you like?
Give you that.
Who do you like in the 2 games?
Kansas and Duke. I just think they're both a little bit better.
Golly, what
but
a great
nothing would
game. God, what a game that
nothing would surprise me if it was Villanova against either one of them. If it's Carolina against either one of them, if Carolina's playing, super basketball and as good as maybe better than anybody the last 3 weeks. Just great stuff. You know what amazed me last night, Matt, was I watched. I don't even know why, because it just happened to be on and never ended up switching the channel. The second half and the 2 overtimes of NC State and UConn women. I don't particularly care for women's basketball. I don't like the way the game's played, and I don't care for the skill set of most players. That was a fantastic sporting event. I don't know. Did you happen to watch?
I didn't. No.
It was great athleticism, really well played basketball, super clutch. It was just, and if anybody out there is, not normally a women's basketball fan and watched it, they know what I'm talking about. It was really, really good. I was so pleasantly surprised.
Cool. Lee Feinswog's with us. He's on Twitter at Lee Feinswog, hosts Sports 225. By the way, before I get, what do you have this week?
I'm trying to think of the last time I tweeted. Months and months and months. Ron Higgins of TigerDetails.com has been on for a couple of months.
What did that have to do with Twitter?
Well, you said my Twitter account, and
no,
I was trying to think of the last time. Yeah.
Oh, maybe I did as a reset.
Yeah.
Oh, sorry.
I mean, I'm so bad. I haven't posted anything on Twitter or Facebook in just forever. I do for volleyballmag.com every day.
Then go to volleyballmag.com.
There you go. Please do that all the time and click on stuff. Another note with Terry Eason going into the draft, probable first-round draft pick for in the NBA. I think it's so interesting that Jabari Smith's son and Landers Nolly's son. Jabari Smith's son for sure will be drafted very high.
Yeah.
And then Landers Nolly's son, got a chance, probably second round if he goes. But and then you've got another guy who I covered for so long, Sharif O'Neal. His daddy, Shaquille O'Neal, going in the portal. I mean, gosh, these guys I covered are going to have grandkids playing before this is done, right? I should live so long.
Well, what do you think about? I think Matt McMahon had been hired. He had yet to be introduced, I think, when we spoke last week.
Right, we were the day before.
What do you think? Oh, so a thought then on McMahon first, a general thought there?
Yeah, he fits the bill for everything that we talked about, and I love the fact that he's not a upper and he's paid his dues and he gets the idea of building a program, sustain it. And I loved his quote, and I'm taking it right from Sheldon Mickle's story about all the transfers. But I want people who want to be here. I want people who want to be part of something special because that's what we're going to do to build here. And he understands build. I think he's as good a guy for this job as you could have. He did a good job at his news conference, and everybody's just going to have to be patient with him because there's hardly going to be any players on next year's roster who are on this year's roster. Certainly hardly anybody who played.
I said I thought there were two, Jarrell Colbert and Bradley Azuairo, the two guys who didn't, the scholarship guys who didn't play this year, I thought might have a chance to come back. Well, today we saw Colbert enter the portal. Sharif entered the portal yesterday, which that was a potential legacy play to keep him here. Adam Miller has now, this was just tweeted during the top of the hour there, that Adam Miller has gone into the portal now. So, Lee, you're waiting on Fudge and Umwani and Gaines to make and Justice Williams to make their announcements. But, man, I don't know that anybody is coming back. I don't think any of the scholarship guys are going to be back.
Yeah, I really liked the way Mwani Wilkinson improved, and I liked watching him play. But, like I've always said about transferring, I mean, I transferred, all right? I started at Syracuse, and I finished at Southern Illinois, but I did it for academics. But, Sharif O'Neal is going to go to his third school, just for example.
And remember, he committed to Arizona.
Right. And
so really, Arizona, UCLA, LSU, and then a fourth. I mean, he never showed up at Arizona, but he had signed his letter of intent. He was released after Sean Miller was fired.
Yeah. Xavier Pinson, of course, played at Missouri, came here, and then somebody told me today they thought he might end up back at Missouri.
That'd be something. I don't know what Xavier Pinson's going to do. I'm a little surprised that he's going to choose to play a fifth year, but either way, the first year for Matt McMahon it's going to be tough. I just can't believe how much you are poo-pooing this Final Four. I mean,
I'm not poo-pooing it.
You are a poo-pooer, is what you were doing. You are poo-pooing.
Poo-pooing. No, I just it's four really, really good teams with fantastic basketball heritage, and the fact that Krzyzewski happens to be retiring, makes okay. So they play Carolina, and it's the great rivalry in college basketball. But I just always hope that every game we get to see is a good game. That's all. And it's been a fun college tournament for all of its flaws, for all of the teams that weren't seeded properly, for the way they do the bracket now, which I can't stand. The kids save it, and it's good basketball, and it's way fun.
You are a poo-pooer.
I wish they would seed it 1 through 68, since they have 68 teams, and it was just a hardcore geography be damned. You play at the places where you're supposed to slot in, and it's not that. So it's always going to be a little bit different. But there were some great games.
You know it was not a great game?
In this tournament.
You know it was not a great game?
Purdue, St. Peter's.
North Carolina against St. Peter's. Keep your little St. Peter's story and shove
they
it.
just ate
Congrats.
Ate them alive.
They got beaten by a team. It was the varsity against the JV. I just have no interest in watching that. Give me Duke and Kansas and North Carolina and Villanova. Give me those teams with NBA players running up and down the floor. Give me that. That's what I want to see, not St. Peter's. It's nice on the Thursday of the first Thursday of the tournament when everybody's looking at their bracket and who's going to pull the big upset. That's cute. When we're actually talking about winning a championship, I'm not interested in little guy because they never show up.
Well, the Arkansas and Houston weren't little guys. Of course, they both lost in the regional finals,
stinks.
but they were fun to watch this year.
Arkansas stinks. Give me a break. I'm going to tell you this.
Okay.
Jalen Williams. I tweeted this. Jalen Williams, dude with the big 6'10" dude with the puffy hair from Arkansas, he has got a rude awakening coming in the NBA because he has tried to perfect the flop to take a charge. And I got news for you, Coach. Watch 10 seconds of an NBA game, and you will see how he will be whistled for that every game. That, or he's just going to end up sitting on his ass without a whistle being blown. The NBA is all about speed and offense and getting up and down. They're not calling that charge from Jalen Williams. That dude is going to be embarrassed at the next level. Mark my words. Mark my words.
If you told me I could change anything in college basketball, the one thing that I would change after eliminating the three-point shot
one and done
would be the offensive foul. If you don't go in with an elbow, an extended hand, you push the person, you get him with your knee. If you just drive right past him and bump, and the guy's stupid enough to stand there and let you run him over, well, you should just laugh at the guy who got run over. There should never be an offensive foul on that. I don't care about the little line. It's just the stupidest thing. People go, "Oh, he's so tough. What a hard-nosed player. He took the charge." No, that's stupid, and the rule's stupid.
It is a stupid rule. You and I cannot believe you and I actually agree on something. But
we agree on a lot of stuff.
It makes watching the game of college basketball nauseating. It is so hard to watch. It's like stop and go driving in traffic. That someone watching a college basketball game is like behind someone who's just constantly riding their brake. It's like, damn it, would you just get in the left lane and go? That's how I feel watching college basketball. The product is awful, which is why I'm excited about this weekend, because you have 4 good players that are good teams that are well coached with NBA players. It's going to look like it's going to be a much better product to watch than what we normally have to suffer throughout the college basketball season, because the game sucks right now. Ain't no LSU Loyola Marymount anymore, Lee.
Can't disagree with you at all.
I know you can, because I'm right.
You are right.
You know what else I'm right about? The glory of beer. Beer! We're late.
What is the malted liquor? What gets you drunker quicker? What comes in bottles or in cans? Beer. Can't get enough of it. Beer. How we really love it. Beer. Makes me think I'm a man. Beer. I could kiss and hug it, but I'd rather chug it. Beer. Got my belly out to here. Beer. I could not refuse it. Beer. I could really use it. Beer. Beer. Beer.
All right, take it away.
All right, after the wacky beers the last 2 weeks, the Hershey's.
Oh, yeah, the peanut butter and jelly one. Yeah.
And a Beta peanut butter and jelly. I'm going chalk, like picking the number 1 seed. But this is one, I can't believe I've never gotten to this one before. But Great Raft Brewing up out of Shreveport, the Commotion Hazy Pale Ale.
Huh.
And as they call it, our signature hop-forward pale ale is an easy drinker. This beautifully hazy pale ale is balanced but vibrant, bursting with tropical aromas of grapefruit and citrus. It just tastes good. It's 5.5% alcohol. It's just a really nice drink an ale that on a day like today where it's just nice and warm and sunny and go outside and have a beer. And, Matt, I'm actually going to have the one I didn't drink when we hang up and sit outside and sip it. Great Raft Brewing Company out of Shreveport doing some amazing things, and this is one of them, the Commotion, APA, they call it, the Hazy Pale Ale.
Y'all check out Commotion from Great Raft and check out Lee Feinswog on Sports 225 and volleyballmag.com. There's your plug.
Oh, thank you all. But be still my heart. I don't even know what to say.
Just say goodbye because I got to go to a break. We'll see you.
You're awesome. Bye, Matt.
Bye. That's Lee Feinswog. This is AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by the Baton Rouge General Hospital, brgeneral.org, where their express care locations are always there to serve you. Of course, you know about the hospital on Bluebonnet, the Mid-City campus, the Ascension Neighborhood Hospital. But don't forget about the express care locations, brgeneral.org, to find the express care location near you. It's 7 days a week, walk-in urgent care. You can check in online. Go to brgeneral.org. You'll see it right there on the home screen where you can check in online. You can even go to the app, the Baton Rouge General app, and see wait times right there. So if you need urgent care for common illnesses and minor injuries, if it's a sinus infection, they even have x-rays and an EKG at all of their locations. So learn more at brgeneral.org and check the wait time at the Baton Rouge General app. It's the Baton Rouge General Express Care locations. Find that location nearest you at brgeneral.org, brgeneral.org.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law offices of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but 2 NMEA certified techs. Family owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years. Front to Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook. Front to Back.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana, call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
And one of the really cool stories of this NBA season is Jose Alvarado from the Pels. If you're not familiar, Jose Alvarado, undrafted rookie out of Georgia Tech, he has really splashed here since the All-Star break, averaging 20 minutes per game for New Orleans. Undrafted, he was the Defensive Player of the Year in the ACC out of Georgia Tech. Pels saw something. He's absolutely made an immediate impact on this team, and his two-way contract has been converted to a multi-year deal. This happened on Monday. We didn't get to it yesterday. We're talking a lot about the game against the Lakers and everything, but the day after they beat the Lakers, Alvarado signed a 4-year contract with the Pels. It's guaranteed for the rest of this year and next year. It's non-guaranteed for the following year, 23-24. And then there's a team option for 24-25. So Alvarado will become extension eligible in March of 2024. So it gives him some stability, knowing that he's under contract with the team. It gives the Pelicans a value play here on a guy that has been a super contributor considering what you were paying him as a two-way player. He leads all rookies this season, and this is from ESPN Stats and Info. I think Andrew Lopez tweeted this. He leads all rookies this year in plus minutes. The Pels, when Alvarado's on the floor, 721 minutes played this season. When he's on the floor, the Pels are plus 163. So really cool to see this guy get the opportunity to make the most of it. And the other thing, too, you know what? Paul was rolling this video just a bit ago, and it was so cool because Willie Herman-Gomez and B.I. were there for the contract signing. It was pretty funny, too, because Brandon Ingram was taking pictures on a digital camera. If you didn't see this, I mean, I haven't seen a digital camera since 2006. But, literally, check that out. B.I. has a digital camera that he's taking pictures with at the press conference. I guess it wasn't a press conference. They're just in a boardroom signing the contract. But there's your multi-million-dollar wing taking pictures with a digital camera. But what I think this underscores is this team likes each other. The comment C.J. McCollum made when he came here about wanting to come to New Orleans to play for this organization, talking about the city where if you win here, they'll love you forever, and you embrace them, they'll love you forever. It's true. And this is part of it. And the other, so there's that part, the emotional part, which is cool to see this guy get rewarded. The other part of it is the Pels have been really smart with how they've structured their roster. Yes, you've got an all-star in B.I. Yes, when Zion's healthy, he's obviously an all-star as well. You hope that he's right and back next year and ready to roll. But you've added C.J. McCollum, an all-star that wants to be here, so it gives you your version of the big three. And then look how they've supplemented the roster. I mean, Jonas Valanciunas has been awesome when they've needed him to step up. They've gotten really good minutes from Willie off the bench. Then look at Herb Jones and Jose Alvarado. Look at what they did there. Herb Jones was the SEC Defensive Player of the Year. Jose Alvarado was the ACC Defensive Player of the Year. You got two guys who are elite on that end of the floor, who are bought in defensively. In a league that is consistently centered around offense and getting yours, they went and got dudes that are committed, pot committed to helping you get stops and getting turnovers. And man, it's fun to watch. They're not going to be able to do it conventionally, where some of the big markets, will just attract big name free agents because of where they're located. They've got to be more prudent with the way that they build the roster, and guys like that have certainly been a huge help. If you haven't seen it today, one more quick note here. Both LeBron and Anthony Davis are doubtful for tonight's game for the Lakers in Dallas. So we've talked about this, and I know you've heard it a bunch. There are some who are stumping that the Lakers should shut down LeBron for the rest of the year because basically you're just fighting for a play-in at this point. But why this is so relevant, and I'm just going to continue harping on it until it's time till it's no longer an issue. But if the Lakers finish with a top 10 pick, the bottom 10 of the league, the Pels recoup that pick. It's top 10 protected. So you need the Lakers to keep losing. Right now, as it stands right now, the Pelicans would recoup that pick. You'd go Magic, Rockets, Pistons, Thunder. Well, obviously it would be in the lottery, but Magic, Rockets, Pistons, Thunder, Pacers, Kings, Blazers, Spurs, Lakers. Lakers are 9th. So as it stands today, you would recoup that pick. So, man, what an awesome opportunity for New Orleans to push forward, to not only get into the play-in game, but host the play-in game, and then maybe even recoup that pick from the Lakers as well would be just sensational. So we'll certainly continue to watch that throughout the remainder of the season. 7 games to go for the Lakers, and cheering mightily against them. All right, it's After Further Review. We're glad you're with us. We're brought to you by Relief Windows, reliefwindows.com, 288-8138, 288-8138, or reliefwindows.com. Windows, door, siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. I did have someone ask me last week on the show text line, hey, I just need siding. Can I do that without the windows? Will they only do siding? Absolutely. Relief Windows will only do the siding for you. I had brother-in-law actually is building a camp up in Mississippi. He's like, hey, we need windows at the camp. Will Relief Windows go there? Absolutely. It's basically when you're going north on 61 through St. Francisville, like toward Natchez. Absolutely. Relief Windows, 288-8138, 288-8138, or reliefwindows.com. Windows, doors, siding, Relief Windows, and reliefwindows.com. One more quick note. You're going to hear this on SportsCenter in about 15 minutes if you're here, but the NFL owners have approved a modified proposal for overtime that will guarantee each team a possession in overtime. So this became a big deal last year, obviously because of Josh Allen and the Bills not getting to touch the ball in overtime when they lost at the Chiefs, understandably. I very much endorse this. It's common sense. Like, congratulations, owners, on allowing common sense to settle in. Yes, give each team a possession. The result of the game should not hinge on the chance of a coin flip. Since the current format was implemented, 7 of the 12 overtime games have been won on the opening possession, and 10 of the 12 teams that won the coin toss won the game. There is no way there should be that overwhelming a disparity on something that has complete chance. So, yes, congratulations on doing the right thing. Now, implement it for the regular season as well. Do the right thing. It's common sense. Yes, week 7 matters because the result of week 7 is going to impact what happens in the postseason. I get it. You don't want guys playing extra snaps, health and safety. I get it. But you also need to make sure that your results are valid. Stop screwing around. You've done the right thing for the playoffs. It's stair-stepping. They'll eventually get there, but baby steps, and they've taken another one today. All right, it's After Further Review. Muso will have Tigers and the Pros when we come back to wrap up hour number 2 next.
AFR.
Gulf Coast Bank and Trust is giving our customers the power to bank anywhere, anytime during this challenging event. And we're right there with you. Our mobile banking app is a smart way to manage your money and time. Gulf Coast Bank and Trust, the bank that cares about you.
Miller Lite has more taste and only 1 more calorie than Michelob Ultra.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her auctioneer primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an auctioneer care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Auctioneer Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, look what I found!
The motivation I needed to live healthier.
My new favorite sport.
I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed. Time for myself. We found our why.
Have you found yours?
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Are you a licensed contractor? There's lots of good contractors in Louisiana doing work the right way, but unfortunately, too many unlicensed contractors are working outside the licensing requirements. Working as a contractor in Louisiana requires a license for the company doing the work. The Louisiana State Licensing Board for Contractors wants to help you get licensed to allow you to conduct work legally. It's not difficult to get the license. We can help you. Go to lacontractor.org for more information. Licensed contractors.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
All right, Todd Walker in about 10 minutes from right now. Right now, though, Muso has Tigers in the pros.
Tigers in the pros. They still bleed purple and gold. They're just really rich now. Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged.
Ethan Posick, he's on the move. Mary Kay Cabot of Cleveland.com reports that Posick has agreed to terms with the Cleveland Browns. It's a one-year deal. Posick, a 2017 second-round pick of the Seahawks, appeared in 57 games over the last 5 seasons, with 40 of those being starts in Seattle. Trailblazers were on the floor last night. Trendon Watford was not. The former Tiger held out with a left knee contusion. Keep you updated on Trendon Watford. Major League Baseball spring training today. The Padres are getting shellacked by the San Francisco Giants. Austin Nola DHing for the Padres in that game. 0 for 2 so far on the day. 133 average so far this spring. Action from spring training that already wrapped up today. The Houston Astros with a victory over the Washington Nationals. Alex Bregman. No. Got the start in that game. 0 for 3 for Bregman, but a really solid spring thus far to the point. 333 average for Bregs. You know who did get into the game today, though? Michael Papierski for the Astros. Got the nod to start at catcher. Was 0 for 1. Drew a walk. Would come around to score. So 0 for 1 with a run scored. A 200 average for Pap. Got close last year to get the call up. It feels very much like it is coming this year.
Pap, Kramer, Josh Smith this year.
All three. All right, yes, calling the shot. I like it. I like it. The Phillies got destroyed by the Yankees Unfortunately, Aaron Nola was on the hook for the loss in that one. 4 innings pitched, 5 hits, 4 runs, all earned, walked 1, struck out 3. DJ LeMahieu no. He went to high school in Michigan.
Nah, he should have gone to Cal.
But anyway, he was 0 for 3 today with a walk. 267 average for DJ so far through the spring. That is Tigers in the Pros.
Presented by Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, lmfj.com, lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry, where Baton Rouge gets engaged, where all of Louisiana gets engaged. 2 locations in Baton Rouge, in Bocage, and the Mall of Louisiana. But find the location near you because they're in Lafayette and New Orleans and Shreveport. lmfj.com, a gorgeous diamond that will thrill her, make you a hero, and you always get the Lee Michaels experience, no matter your budget. lmfj.com for Lee Michaels Fine Jewelry. Thrill her with the red box. Todd Walker coming up right after SportsCenter, Hour 3 of AFR.
AFR.
Brought to you by Shaw Bills Tire and Auto Service, ShawBillsTire.com. 18 locations in South Louisiana. Find the location nearest you at ShawBillsTire.com. It is a reality of life. You drive a car, you will need to maintenance that car, and there's no better place to go than Shaw Bills, because for more than 50 years, Shaw Bills has made it their mission to treat you like family. So you're going to get fair pricing. You're going to get people that treat you well. They'll sell you name brand tires at wholesale prices, and they're convenient because from Morgan City up to Baton Rouge, over toward Lafayette, and all points in between, Shaw Bills is near you. A newest location in Denham, that's actually meant that the Coursey location, a lot of people in the Denham area that would go to Coursey now have their own location there in Denham. So if you're in Southeast Baton Rouge, remember that Coursey location right there. They can get you in and out. ShawBillsTire.com to find the location nearest you, to schedule service, to shop tires. It's ShawBillsTire.com. Shaw Bills, where we keep you rolling.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
ServiceMaster Elite create clean, disinfected work environments. As a local business, we take pride in serving the New Orleans and Baton Rouge areas. Our cleaning protocols follow CDC and OSHA standards for healthcare settings, offices, senior living, restaurants, and industrial plants. Contact ServiceMaster Elite to get your operation ready for reopening with germ disinfection cleaning. ServiceMaster Elite, the trusted choice in professional cleaning since 1996.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
This is SportsCenter.
I'm Christine Lisi. Breaking news, ESPN's Om Young-Suk is reporting. Clippers forward Paul George will return tonight against the Jazz, barring a late setback. He's been out since December 22nd with a torn UCL in his elbow. The Lakers enter tonight's matchup against the Mavericks, clinging to 10th in the West, up just a half game on the Spurs. LA's LeBron James and Anthony Davis listed as doubtful. The way things have been going for the Lakers, they should shut down LeBron the rest of this season, believes our Jay Williams.
This team is not going to win a championship. So LeBron James competing at an ultimate high level with a left sore knee that can hinder him, with a left twisted ankle. Now you're going to try to have him come back and play on those injuries and average 40 points in order for you to make the play-in tournament? Focus for what's coming up next, which is the health of LeBron James.
Jay of Keyshawn, J. Will, and Max, Lakers Mavs in an hour on ESPN Radio. Change coming for NFL overtime in the playoffs. Owners today approved a rule proposal that ensures both teams have a possession. OT in the regular season will remain the same.
ESPN Radio is presented by Progressive Insurance. At Progressive, they're making things even easier. They'll help you bundle your home and car insurance together so you can save on both. Learn more at Progressive.com or 1-800-PROGRESSIVE.
Matt Moscona.
I'm very important.
After further review.
Say one more time.
After further review with Matt Moscona.
And here we go.
ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria. Live from the Mercedes-Benz of Baton Rouge studios.
That's right.
Hour 3, off we go. Welcome aboard. Glad you're with us. AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. I'm Matt.
This is Shaq O'Neal, and I hate Matt.
Paul O'Neal.
They're chanting Paul O'Neal's name.
Yusuf. And Mr. Toby Tomplay. We're here. Glad you are as well. Get out there and make it a good one. 5 o'clock, quitting time. Glad you're driving home with us. Baseball Tigers, 90 minutes from now, taking on ULM at the box. Did the Tigers find some special sauce this weekend? Let's ask Todd Walker, former Tiger great, of course, the SEC Network on Twitter at Todd Walker12. How are you, man?
Great, man. What's happening?
Man, I'm kind of wondering if LSU found some special sauce, how they flipped the switch from that awful performance Friday to what we saw Saturday and Sunday. What do you think?
I thought the Saturday game was a back-against-the-wall type situation, man. Now, it's early, week 2 of the SEC. They're going to go 10 weeks, but my God, they dropped that one Saturday after having lost 2 or 3 at home to A&M and Louisiana Tech during the week for the second time this year. And then you're right, Friday night, where they walked 7 guys. They walked 11 guys against Tech, 7 against Florida on Friday night. So you're not going to win when you're just putting guys on base. But they cleaned it up on Saturday, and then won on Sunday. I feel like because they won on Saturday, a little momentum, and they're back on track. But, man, can you imagine the conversation we'd be having right now if they got swept by Florida, which it looked like they were going to do after Friday night? But now, you know, I mean, they're 17-7. They're still kicking the ball around and walking too many people. But, again, you can look at it one way or the other, and I tend to look at it as they've won 17 out of 24 games by not playing very well.
You played middle infield, obviously. What do you think about the switch, Thompson and Doty?
It's difficult on both sides. From the left side of the infield, you can let it go, you know, your throws. That's why you see a lot of second basemen develop the thing, because you kind of have – it's kind of an awkward kind of mid-throw unless you make a play up to your right side, you know. So for Jordan, I'm sure that's a big adjustment. Doty, you know, I mean, you know, clearly he can play the infield, and it's an adjustment there too. But I've always felt like, and it sounds weird, that the shorter throw is the more difficult one. And then you got to get the footwork around the bag on the double plays and certain things. But so far, it seems to work. Jordan moved over there for the first time on Saturday, I think, got 3 hits. So sometimes you mix it up just to get the offense going. It seemed to work.
Todd Walker is with us. The other thing that's creating a lot of angst, obviously, is Jacob Berry's defense. Todd, you're not taking Braden Jobear's bat out of the lineup. So Berry's got to play in the field. Do you just kind of put him at third and grin and bear it?
Matt, I've said this a few times already this year, and what I would have done is put Jacob Berry at third if that's where you wanted him to play. Now, he doesn't have to play third. He's got to play somewhere, like you said. They've got about 4 or 5 DHs. They got to figure out where to put them because they flat out can swing the bat. We know that. LSU averages 9 runs a game, and Jacob Berry can mash. So I would have put him over there at third from day one and never moved him. Now, again, I know that Jack Merrifield is good over there as well, but if you want him to play third, you put him over there every day through the Towson games, through the Bethune-Cookman games, and if he made an error, you knew he wasn't going to cost you the game. But in the process, he'd get more comfortable. But if you're mixing and matching and kind of putting him in, taking him out, there's no rhythm there, and there's no feel for an infielder who's not Mitch Robinson anyway. It makes it that much more difficult for him, and it could in turn affect his offense. So far it really hasn't. Jacob Berry is still swinging the bat, but I would have put him in there for every inning of every game from the start. Now you just got to hope for the best.
Todd Walker on Twitter at ToddWalker12. I tend to agree. Stick him at third. Now, what about the rotation? Because, and I kind of want to ask you this through a hitter's lens, because what we've talked about here, Todd, is like the big problem LSU has is that all their pitchers are kind of the same, right? You got stock righties. I mean, you got the one lefty in Riley Cooper, and then like Gervais is 6'10", but basically everybody else kind of looks the same. So they seem to find something this weekend. What do you think about what the makeup LSU has on this pitching staff?
Well, you can't walk people. Early on, they were doing a pretty good job of that. Now they average 4 walks a game. So you're getting 4 free passes a game, including the defense, which has made 39 errors this year. It's just not a good formula right there. But clearly, Blake Money can get it done. Even though, my eyes always does a strike to walkout ratio. Typically, you want it 3-1. And Blake Money struck out 36 and walked in. So that's about a 3-1. In college, and to be a dominant college pitcher, you usually see it in like the 6-1, 7-1 ratio, which is Paul Gervais and Mikael Hilliard. Now, Mikael Hilliard gets hit around a little bit because he doesn't throw 95, and it's pretty straight. But I love pitchers that don't walk anybody. Like, if you bang out 20 hits on me, you tip your hat, well done. But I'm not going to give you, 11 free passes like they did against Louisiana Tech. And then expect to win. So I like the guys that throw strikes. I've seen Gervais throw a few times. Really like that kid, Ty Floyd, who I like, just walking too many guys. I mean, it's crazy. But if he cleans that up, he's okay. So overall, you asked me how I feel about the pitching staff. Too many walks, and especially with a defense that's not picking the ball behind you. I mean, and they're not going to get a lot of swinging misses. So that we knew going into the season that was going to be the issue. But it's a little less. I mean, I got the game Thursday night, so I'm going to get to see him firsthand. I watched him play Louisiana Tech in Ruston, which was not a good, indication from the LSU team. So I got him against Auburn on the SEC Network, so I'm going to get a better view. Talk to Jay Johnson tomorrow on the phone. But, you're not going to hear anything from me that people can look at the stats and find out for themselves, and that is offense is good. Rest of it has to get cleaned up for them to do anything.
Todd, it was so bad on Friday when they dropped a couple of pop flies, and that was just the moment, right? The melt moment. After they had lost 2 or 3 to A&M, they lose the midweek. It was just embarrassing on Friday the way they played. I actually went and looked up the fielding percentage. This is what I was doing on my Friday night. So it says a lot about my life. But I went and looked up I went through LSU Stats Archive and looked up the fielding percentage for every team as far as LSU has stats archived, right? And the last time they fielded sub 960 was in Maneri's first year in 2007. But it was interesting to me, and I'd love your perspective here, it may just be a different era, but the 93 championship team fielded 956, and you were on that team, obviously. what? And you just got to remind me. Like, is it different era? Was there something that happened? Like, what was the makeup there that made it work to where that team obviously won a national championship and wasn't one of the more decorated defensive teams in this program's history?
Yeah, it's a fair question. And look, when you asked me that, my mind went to the national championship game where we had a guy on the mound who struck out 16.
That helps.
When you strike out 16, 16 to 27 outs, it doesn't really matter what the defense is doing behind you. And again, that's what I've been talking about with this group. They just don't have a lot of swing and miss guys. Okay. So you're going to have to play defense. That year, and again, you can put it on a microscope. I'd have to go back and look. But, a guy like Mike Soroka and Brett Laxton. What else did we have? We had some big arms that could get a lot of swing and misses. And we were banging like they are this year. I don't know. Again, I don't know the average, but, we could score 9 or 10 runs a game as well. But, again, the key is getting the strikeouts. And if you're not getting them, you got to play defense. If you're not playing defense, then you got an issue.
Great point. Yeah, look, if you score 16 runs on Saturday and 11 runs on Sunday, you can kick a few. It's not really going to matter if you're hitting the ball that way.
That's right.
Hey, before you go, I know you get to watch the whole league. I'd love a couple of observations from what you saw. Let me start with Tennessee. They go sweep Ole Miss. That caught everybody's eye. I guess it's fair to say, like, Tennessee this year, they're the real deal. No holes on that team.
They got one loss, and it was against the number one team in the country at the time, Texas.
Yeah.
They've got 2 freshmen that are getting it done. When you talk about strikeout to walk ratios, their 3 starters are 4-1, 5-1, and 7-1. In other words, 7-1, you got 10 walks and 70 strikeouts, for example. So when I look at the ratios of the pitching staff, they can really throw it. And to me, and I think you've heard me say it before, baseball is all pitching. Like, if you can get guys that can do something like that, then you can work around all that. But yes, they're the real deal. They can play defense, and they can swing the bat. And a lot of that's confidence rolled over from last year. And Tony Vitello clearly has some sort of message, emotion, something that the players just love and respond to, because they played well last year, got to Omaha, and now here they are at it again. And you mentioned Ole Miss. I wasn't ever sold on Ole Miss for the same reason LSU. They just don't. If you're going to compete at a national level and get to Omaha and win, you got to have Landon Marceau. You got to have some of these best in the country top aces. Ole Miss really doesn't have that. They're going to have to piece their staff together, but they can swing it too. And the good news for LSU and Ole Miss and other people that don't really have a real true, like, dominant best in the country ace is that nobody really does. Last year there were the 2 guys out of Vanderbilt. Mississippi State had some arms. Now this year, the ones that we did have, like Landon Sims, they're all hurt. So it's the year of the offense now. So that's good news for LSU. They just got to hold teams down long enough to be able to score 9 or 10 runs.
Man, I'm glad to hear you're going to be on the call Thursday. It's always a pleasure when we get to spend a few minutes with you here on the show, and obviously to hear your insights on the broadcast as well. We appreciate you always making time for us, man. Thanks so much.
Thank you.
It's our pleasure. Todd Walker on Twitter at ToddWalker12. By the way, on that 93 championship team, let's not forget they had Ronnie Rance on the staff as well. You want to talk about big guy, swing and miss stuff. The big guy.
Baton Rouge Rougarou owner Ronnie Rance to you, Matt.
My bad. Sorotka, we forgot about Scott Schultz was on that team as well. Sorotka, Schultz, of course. Laxton, 16 strikeouts. It's weird, like, how you remember where you were when. And I was young at that time, but like, I was away at summer camp, and my parents picked me up that Saturday of the championship game, and so we got back home in time to watch the championship game on that Saturday, noonish, whatever time it was, and watch Laxton strike out 16 Wichita State Shockers. Friggin' amazing day. Like, some of those things you just never forget. What a fun team that was. Todd Walker, the Batman. Do you know, like, every time I'm a geek out, like, every time I get to talk to Todd, 12, 13-year-old Matt just completely geeks out. There's nobody in the world cooler than Todd Walker in 1993. To me. Like, literally not a human on the planet that was cooler than Todd Walker in 1993. The long hair coming out of the hat, just a cool swing, smooth, just awesome. Anyway, I love his perspective. I'm so glad he talks to us whenever we call. All right, it's After Further Review. Glad you're aboard with us here. We're brought to you by DraftKings. If I'm not mistaken, let me punch up my DraftKings app. DraftKings does have college baseball lines. I wonder if you could bet on that game tonight on the DraftKings. Download the DraftKings Sportsbook app, by the way. Let's see if they got tonight's game. They do have you can bet the LSU-ULM game tonight on the DraftKings Sportsbook app. They don't have a lot. They have a total, and you could bet the money line. So you can bet LSU-ULM tonight. You want to get nuts? Muse, what do you think? Are the Tigers winning this one tonight against ULM? We're going to drop another midweek game. What are we doing here?
No, they're going to win.
We're going to win this one.
They're going to win.
You're going to lay the 385?
I'm not going to do that. What's the total, though, Matt?
13.5. I'd probably go over that 13.
Over the 13.5 ain't a bad play.
There. DraftKings Sportsbook app. Remember, download the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. Their promotion right now is bet just $5 on any NCAA tournament game. So the Final Four, bet $5 on the Final Four. And if the team you pick wins, you'll win $200 in free bets. That's right now at the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Go to the DraftKings Sportsbook app. Bet on LSU and ULM tonight. I like that total play, Muse. Look. The public loves it over.
Life's too short to bet the under.
When's the last time we saw LSU in a midweek game not go over or go under 13?
Last week.
What was the final? I don't remember.
Well, actually, I think it was 13, wasn't it? It was the 7-6, so it was 13. 13.5 was the total, though.
And you needed 12. You needed 12 innings to get there, too.
Yeah.
So I would have gone under, see? Tread carefully there, Muse. I'll tell you what, DraftKings, the official sports betting partner of AFR. DraftKings Sportsbook app. Use the promo code Baton Rouge. All right, it's After Further Review. We appreciate T-Dub for a couple of minutes here. We'll wait till the lineup's posted for tonight's game. We'll run through that before we're out of here. Let me grab a quick break. Both Dennis Allen and Mickey Loomis met with the media today at the NFL owners meetings in Florida. They talked about a lot. Talked about signing Andy Dalton. Talked about Jameis. Talked about moving forward with Taysom Hill. Lots of stuff. We'll get to it next AFR.
AFR.
Love telling you about Clegg's Nursery. Weather is gorgeous right now. Oh, my goodness. Love this time of year. When it's 70s, sunny, blue skies, just gorgeous, gorgeous spring days. This is the time to get in the yard and just plant something. This is the time to get to Clegg's Nursery. That grass is starting to green up, but you're noticing the weeds coming through, the clover. Get rid of that. Plush, beautiful lawn. Clegg's has that weed-killing cocktail. Not sure what to get for your specific lawn? They have the answers. Just go ask. Find someone with a blue shirt on. All their horticulturists, they have all the answers you need. Full greenhouses with pallets of plants arriving, flowers arriving every single day. Add that color this spring. Clegg's has you covered. 4 locations in the greater Baton Rouge area. Seagair Airline, LA 16 in Denham, Mid-City on Donmore, and the Garden Center on Greenwell Springs. It's Clegg's Nursery.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines, fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but 2 NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, Front-to-Back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front-to-Back Boat Service.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
Hey, look what I found!
The motivation I needed to live healthier.
My new favorite sport.
I found my groove.
I found I'm part fish.
My second win when I needed it most.
I found more than a gym.
The affordable childcare this mom needed.
Time for myself.
We found our why.
Have you found yours?
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Muse, give me a poll update, if you would.
Yeah, sure thing. Today's Citizens
Thank
Bank
you.
poll of the day.
It's very agreeable of you and polite.
Yeah, of course. Do you like the Andy Dalton signing for the Saints? 75% say yes.
Okay. Do you like it?
Sure. Yeah. Back up. Sure.
Paul, do you like it?
I do.
Okay. Talked about it earlier. It's a bajillion percent better than any of the backups you've had the last 3 years. Teddy Bridgewater, Taysom Hill, Trevor Siemian. When your starting quarterback's gone down, you're better. You are better with Andy Dalton. The one question I have is, like, are they going to lose a compensatory pick that they were in line to recoup because of losing Armstead? There's at least one report out there which suggests they might. It ain't worth that. If it comes down to it. Again, we don't know. We won't know until next year around the draft time. But file it away. We'll talk about it. By the way, more on what Dennis Allen had to say at the owners' meetings today. I want to be in good graces with Brian Kelly. I don't want to say anything that's going to, cause a rift there. Finally, welcome back in the building. Hadn't been welcomed in there for a while. Hard to cover the team whenever coach doesn't let you in the building. But Brian Kelly doesn't let the media tweet until after practice, right? That's what he told us. Can't tweet until after the practice.
It's fact.
No, you're in at 5, but everything you see, video, tweet, picture, everything, can't put it out there until after practice is over. It's 7-ish. Well, they're on the practice field right now, and Brian Kelly just 11 minutes ago tweeted a picture of he, Tyrann Mathieu, Clyde Edwards-Helaire, Callahan, and Thaddeus Moss. The champions on and off the field. Glad to have Tyrann, Clyde, and Thaddeus out at practice with us. I mean, why does he get to tweet during practice?
Matty's the head coach.
Shouldn't he be coaching? Shouldn't he be head coaching right now instead of tweeting? He should be head coaching instead of tweeting. Where's the focus?
Thad Moss looked massive in that picture,
big guy.
by the way.
Big
Goodness
guy.
gracious.
Well, Clyde's also like 5'8".
Right. And I mean,
He's standing next to Clyde.
Brian Kelly's not a big guy
Yes.
either, but I mean,
And so neither is Tyron. Tyron's like a bunch of dudes that are like 5'10".
But still.
Yeah. Anyway, just going to say, just put it out there, just a little hypocritical there, Muse. He should be head coaching. I mean, you don't think it's someone else running his Twitter account, do you?
Of course not. No.
The head football coach wouldn't let a former...
he's out there on his phone on the Ponderosa right now tweeting that picture, yeah.
The head football coach wouldn't let like a former morning radio host run his Twitter account, would he?
Why would that ever happen? What?
Okay. Let me remind you about the aesthetic medicine and anti-aging clinics of Louisiana. Do this for 30 seconds, and then we'll dive into what Dennis Allen had to say. TheAntiAgingClinics.com. TheAntiAgingClinics.com. The aesthetic medicine and anti-aging clinics of Louisiana. I'm going to look and feel like your younger self. Hormone replacement therapy, that could be the ticket for you. TheAntiAgingClinics.com. Simple blood tests can let you know if you're a candidate for hormone replacement therapy, and then they'll keep you up to date with twice annual blood labs. So every 6 months. As a matter of fact, I'm going to Aesthetic tomorrow for my lab review to make sure that all of my numbers check out, see if anything needs to be adjusted. You will be under the watchful eye of a medical doctor, Dr. Todd Howell. It gives me great comfort, peace of mind, knowing that I'm as healthy as I could possibly be and that I'm feeling like my younger self. TheAntiAgingClinics.com. Baton Rouge, Lafayette, and online. TheAntiAgingClinics.com. So the NFL owners' meetings are going on right now. The coaches are always there. Coaches, GMs, owners are always at the NFL owners' meetings. And they usually have the gaggle of reporters at breakfast around. Each coach has their own table, like at breakfast, and then the reporters get to go talk to all the coaches. And so Dennis Allen was there, and the Saints media covered a bevy of topics with Dennis Allen, including the Deshaun Watson pursuit, but namely having Jameis now, having gone through the Deshaun Watson pursuit. Let's start with Dennis Allen's thoughts on how Jameis handled the team pursuing Deshaun Watson.
Jameis was great, and Jameis understands how our business operates, and he was great during the whole process. He and I had a couple of good, call it tough conversations, and I thought it was a good process.
There are some people who have pushed and said, did you upset Jameis? Did you offend him? Was it a knock to him? And I don't care if it was. I like Jameis. Y'all know that. Like, I've been a supporter of bringing Jameis on and what he could be. I'm for all that. But as an NFL franchise, you need to try to get better every single year at every single position. And if you have a chance to bring in someone that's going to make your team better, you do it. It's a business. You try to do things tactfully and tastefully, but it's a business. So I'm not worried if they hurt Jameis's feelings. It's on him to go prove he deserves the job. He's got it now. Go prove it. It also matters who he's throwing the football to, and a lot of people have asked about receivers. Here's Dennis Allen's thoughts on his wide receiver room.
I think it's still a position that we want to try to add to, but we certainly feel good about being able to get Traquan Smith back, having Deontay Hardy, having Mike Thomas come back. So we feel good about the position, but yet it's still a position that I think we want to try to add to.
They absolutely have to add, because just think about, and I've said it before, they're better now than they were last year because you have Mike Thomas coming back. But 2 years ago, you had Thomas and you had Emmanuel Sanders. You don't have a number two. I like Marquez Callaway. I like Deontay Hardy. I don't like Traquan Smith at all. I hope he goes away. But with Thomas, Callaway, Hardy, you do have a big drop-off from 1 to 2 and 3 right now. You need to fill that gap. You need a number two. You need a legit number two to complement Mike Thomas. Whether you get that in free agency or in the draft remains to be seen, but you're better now than you were a year ago because Thomas is healthy. You still need a number two, and they recognize that. But it's not nearly as dire as it was a year ago. So, with that in mind, what is Dennis Allen looking at with this round of free agency?
I think we've done a pretty decent job, in terms of this offseason of trying to fill a few spots certainly the quarterback must is always the biggest one that you got to make sure that we feel good about where we're at there. And there's still a couple of things, on the roster that I think we want to be able to do, and we're going to take our time in doing that. I've found that, and we've found as an organization, that usually our best moves are usually not the ones that everybody wants to write about and talk about and tweet about or whatever. Our best moves are going and getting a guy like a Demario Davis that wasn't like this splash signing, but fits our culture, fits a specific need that we have, and he's a type of player or the type of personality that we're looking for, and it just becomes a good fit, and they have success. And so I think that's what we're continuing to do.
He's so right. We talk about that splash free agency at the beginning every year. We all want to talk about the big names and the big contracts. We want to talk about Von Miller going to Buffalo. We want to talk about Tyreek Hill going to Miami. I mean, I know there's a trade, but we want to talk about that. We want to talk about Russ Wilson getting traded to Denver. But he's right. The core of your team isn't made up with that one big free agent acquisition. That could be the finishing touch, and sometimes it's a necessity. But this is what the Saints do every year. They're always super aggressive from jump with that one big-ticket item, and then they let the market settle, and then they go bargain shopping with guys that get at a great value that fit their culture. Demario Davis was a great example of that, but he's just one example of many that they've been able to bring in. You can go all the way back to the very beginning of the Peyton Breeze era, Loomis era, when they brought in Scott Shanley. With a trade in free agency, it was very similar in that respect. They want guys that fit the culture, that want to be here, and they find them, and they're going to continue to do that. So there's positions they have to address. Look, they had to go get a safety to replace Marcus Williams. They did. They got Marcus May, a great player coming off an injury, but at a more palatable price that they were willing to pay. They got to address left tackle. However they're going to do it. If it's moving Ramczyk, then you got to address right tackle. If it's going to be in the draft, free agency, they got to address it. I still think they need to address tight end. They need running back. There's spots they got to address, but they could address it in the draft. Here was Dennis Allen's thoughts on the upcoming draft.
Everybody wants to kind of compare this draft to other drafts and where's it deep, where's it not deep. The honest to God's truth is you're not going to know until 3 years from now really how good it was, because it's not until they get in and start playing that you kind of realize exactly what you have. So I do know that I feel like the numbers are maybe a little bit more, and I feel like really you're probably looking at some guys maybe in years past that might have been late round draft choice that might be available as college free agents.
He's right. You typically don't know about a class until years down the line, unless it's 2017, and you have guys like Kamara and Trey Hendrickson and that whole class in 2017 splash right from jump. Marshawn Lattimore, Ryan Ramczyk. That happens. And I don't think this entire draft class is going to have to be that for the Saints team, because they are a good, deep, talented roster. I mean, they were a winning roster last year, even with all the injuries and defections and everything. But there are positions that they need to address in this draft with guys that are going to be immediate contributors. Look, we didn't know it at the time, but they needed Paulson Adebo to be a starter. Right? I mean, I know they went and acquired Bradley Roby and Case, but they needed Paulson Adebo to emerge in the role he did. Year one rookie. We didn't know it at the time, but Quan gets hurt. They needed Pete Werner to be ready to be a starter, and he was for that window when Quan was hurt. There's going to be guys in this draft class that's the same thing. Probably a receiver, probably an offensive lineman, but that's coming as well. Either way, I think this team has really positioned itself nicely heading into this free agent, into the second wave of free agency and into this draft. I'm going to continue to harp on it. I have a feeling it's going to be a mantra you hear me say a lot. The Saints right now are a better team right now than they were week 18. And they're only going to get better as they add more pieces. All right, it's after further review. Quick break. Some breaking news from LSU basketball. Matt McMahon has landed another commitment. We'll tell you who next.
AFR.
Brought to you by Darren James and Associates, powered by eXp Realty. Every home listed by every company, all in one place. Agent225.com. Agent225.com. If you're thinking about buying or selling a home, call Darren James. There's just absolutely nobody better. The Baton Rouge last night to nominate Darren James and his entire team because, quite honestly, the experience that I share with you all the time about Darren James, my experience, is why I am so thrilled to endorse Darren day after day. Because when I was ready to buy a house, Erica and I, Darren met us any time of day that was convenient for us. He was always available via phone call or text. That dude was up at 11 o'clock, midnight, answering whatever question we had. We were always in the loop. He sold our first house the first day it was listed. You want results? You want a great experience? You want Darren James. Agent225.com.
Think real estate, think Darren James.
This is a house call. This is a follow-up appointment. This is a diabetes checkup. This isn't just more convenient care, it's more advanced care. This is innovating healthcare at Louisiana's #1 hospital, Ochsner.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've got that blue sky. I've got that sunshine.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Follow us on Twitter at 1045ESPN to cast your vote in the Citizens Bank and Trust poll of the day. Vote daily inside Off the Bench, Hunt, and Hill, the early line. And after further review, Citizens Bank and Trust brings you the poll of the day via Twitter at 1045ESPN.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected. Supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team. And backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
This isn't just another day. It's so much more. Kelly's life was put on hold when her Ochsner primary care doctor discovered a rare blood disorder. Her doctor connected her to an Ochsner care team of cancer, heart, and kidney specialists. With multiple primary care locations around Baton Rouge, same-day appointments, and online scheduling, we're relentless about keeping you healthy. Ochsner Baton Rouge, innovating healthcare for Kelly.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Matt McMahon has added his second commitment in as many days. One of them, Kendall Coleman, is actually a signee. LSU has made it official, but this is breaking news just minutes ago. Justice Hill, the guard from Murray State who entered the portal, has tweeted he's committed to LSU. He wrote, I'm beyond blessed and grateful for the opportunities that I've been presented with these past few days. But all in all, I'm committed to the people that have been committed to me. #Go Tigers. So Justice Hill is now an LSU Tiger. Interesting because we talked after Matt McMahon took the LSU job. You might recall we talked to a couple of media members from up in Murray, and the general feeling there was there weren't any real transfer candidates. More veteran team, guys that might go pro, but the possibility of guys leaving Murray State didn't seem too grand. But Justice Hill, 2 years at Murray State, this past year, started all 34 games. He averaged 13 points per game, 2 rebounds, 5 assists. That is a massive get. A guy that knows Matt McMahon, knows the expectations, and that's your point guard, man. That's the guy who's going to run your offense, going to run the show for you. So after you lose Xavier Pinson and you bring in Justice Hill, that's huge. And equally as huge, it means the Justice Drop gets to live on. I mean, what are the odds of that, Muse? The fact that they would look, and let's be
Obviously
clear.
pretty good.
Let's be clear. No, the odds are not. You find me. I want you to
it worked.
How many players in Division I basketball are named Justice?
I don't know if Google knows the answer to that, but let's see.
Find a list of college basketball stats. Go to College Basketball Reference from this year and just find anybody named Justice. I'm telling you, there's probably 2. One of them played for LSU, and actually, Justice Williams. Justice! You almost row-handed there.
I did.
Yeah, you did. I heard that. He hasn't entered the portal, so we may end up with 2 of them. We may have 2 opportunities for the Justice Drop. Justice! Kendall Coleman, a guy who averaged a double-double at Northwestern State this year. I get it. At Northwestern State in the Southlands, a big step up into the SEC, but a guy big who averaged a double-double, and now you've added Justice Hill. So he's Matt McMahon. Matt McMahon has to make over the entire roster. I mean, just today, Adam Miller has formally entered the portal, as did Jarrell Colbert. So Easton Days, Pinson, Murray, O'Neal, Colbert, Miller are all leaving. And you're still waiting to hear from Reed, Fudge, Gaines, Justice, and Amwani. But you're starting to make over the team now. So, boy, that's big. If nothing else, it shows what a level of commitment that great player at Murray State has to the guy that recruited him, because he's leaving a spot where they made the tournament this year to come to a place where he's not going to have that opportunity. Let's be real. LSU's going to get hit with sanctions. They're going to get hit with a postseason ban, and they're not going to be able to play in the postseason this year. The fact that Justice Hill's willing to come here to follow Matt McMahon, I think should be super encouraging about the type of coach, type of man that Matt McMahon is, that Justice Hill's willing to follow him. So big get there. All right, it's After Further Review. We're brought to you by South Point Volkswagen, southpointvw.com. New and certified pre-owned in Baton Rouge and online. I already did South Point. My bad. I was supposed to do HUDCO here. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com. Sorry about that, Paulie, but I love South Point too. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com. Do business with someone you know. HUDCOroofing.com. We are expecting inclement weather in our area again tomorrow. You've probably seen the forecast. I want to stress, and I tell you this all the time, and it's not a catchy line that I throw out there. It's legit. There's only 2 ways to find out if you have roof damage. You get up and do a roof inspection, or you wait till it rains and you have water in your house. And one of those options is better than the others. Now, we're going to have bad weather tomorrow. If as a result of the weather, you notice missing shingles, if you notice other roof damage, if you have things fall on your roof, if you have hail in your area, call us first. Let us come do that roof inspection. We'll do a full, no-obligation roofing report. And if we recommend it, we will help you submit a claim to your insurance company. HUDCO Roofing and HUDCOroofing.com. Remember, we are a local company, Louisiana people. We use Louisiana shingles made here in Louisiana, Louisiana workers. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. We're also proud to support local athletes with our HUDCO Hometown Heroes program, HUDCOroofing.com. For every job we do, we will take a portion of our net committed to an NIL deal with an athlete of your choice, of the homeowner's choice. So we repair or replace your roof. You pick what athlete we do an NIL deal with. HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. Do business with someone you know, HUDCO Roofing, HUDCOroofing.com. All right, LSU baseball lineup is posted. We are 45 minutes away from first pitch. LSU, ULM out at the box. It looks just like it did. Would you expect it any different? The last couple of games. Doty, Morgan, Cruz, Berry, Thompson, Joubert, Dugas, DiGiacomo, Travinsky will catch and play ninth. So exactly as we saw it. Doty stays at short, as you would expect. Berry stays at third. Thompson at second. Joubert DHing. And Devin Fontenot will be on the mound tonight for the Tigers. Real quick, here was Jay Johnson on the pitching plan for tonight's ball game.
Devin Fontenot is going to start the game. We have 3 or 4 of our better guys we actually didn't even use this weekend. The plan is to pitch them all some. There's a couple guys that we want to get involved in what we're doing and see what we have, or a couple guys we think can be better than they pitched. Obviously, winning the game is the most important thing, but we have a plan. You know, Devin will go an inning or 2, maybe 3 at most. We want to keep him available for some point in the Auburn series. And then all the better guys, you know, while the game is in the balance, we'll pitch. We're going to stand by. We're going to do everything we can to win the game that's in front of us.
Jay Johnson last night on his coach's show getting ready for tonight's ball game. 45 minutes away from first pitch. You'll hear it on Eagle 98.1, members of the LSU, or affiliates of the LSU Sports Radio Network. All right, final break. We'll come back. Otterlocks is next. Stay here.
AFR.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
I've been doing business with Luba for 25 years. They're dependable, trustworthy. It's just the attention to detail with our clients.
Our folks have years and years of experience. They're highly trained professionals, but many companies have that asset. What I'd like to think makes Luba a bit different is that we use those talents in a way that truly is dedicated to serving the needs of the folks who depend on us.
During these challenging times, we know your healthcare needs don't stop. Cancer, accidents, injuries, and heart disease are relentless. So we are relentlessly innovating to keep you safe, both virtually and in person, connecting you with providers remotely, advancing clinical spaces, providing rapid and accurate testing, social distancing, and certified cleaning protocols. We are Auctioner, and we will not slow down. Auctioner Health, innovating healthcare.
Gulf Coast Office Products is a nationally recognized Savin office equipment dealer based right here in Louisiana. Over 100 employees strong, Gulf Coast has the boots on the ground to support all vertical markets, from education, engineering, legal, and finance. With the latest in office technology, from desktop to production segment units, Gulf Coast and Savin have the perfect fit for you. Call 225-756-2644. That's 756-2644 for Gulf Coast Office Products.
Eli's always been into grilling. It took us a while to see it, but the signs were there.
What are you doing, Eli?
I knew grilling was my thing. I have been talking about it throughout my career.
Happy with the results?
I am. Got the new grill from barbecueguys.com. It performed great.
My advice, as I always told my boys,
do more of what you're born to do.
Barbecue Guys, for those who were born to grill.
You want cheese on your burger, Pops?
I'll take a little cheese.
If you're in an accident, a car accident, a slip and fall where you're injured, you need to call an attorney. The defendant insurance company, it's their goal to close the case as quickly as possible and pay out the least amount of money as possible. That's why it's important to call an attorney and call the law office of O.C. Brown.
At the law office of O.C. Brown, we're a family-owned firm. We want to be your law firm for a lifetime.
And this year, 2022, it's time to finally treat yourself. Bring your boat to the next level with front-to-back boat service. You want the latest and greatest marine technology? You want to go to the place that has not one, but two NMEA-certified techs. Family-owned and operated by the Sherman family for 30 years, front-to-back is the answer in Baton Rouge for all of your custom boat needs. So head to fronttobackboatservice.com or find them on Facebook, Front to Back Boat Service.
There it is, the extra mile, on the border of expected and extraordinary, for those willing to go further, like vans customized for work or play, with safety and tech to keep you connected, supported by a 5-star sales, service, and finance team, and backed by the 1-star you know. So go the extra mile. It's never crowded, because so few have what it takes to go there. Mercedes-Benz Vans.
After further review with Matt Moscona, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. Call for a free quote to see how much you can save. 293-0450. After further review with Matt Moscona, ESPN Baton Rouge, New Orleans, Alexandria.
Down the stretch we come. Final segment here on a Tuesday edition of AFR, presented by Insurance Network of Louisiana. 293-0450 or lainsurance.net. Better coverage for less money. Insurance Network of Louisiana. One thing left to do. Let's find out what we're betting on tonight. It's time for Otter Locks.
Otter Locks, presented by Clark Crane Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram in St. Francisville. Because a great deal is worth a short drive to Clark Crane.
So we turn to the one and only, the incomparable and often incomprehensible, the Ott Father himself, Jimmy Ott. Otter, how are you?
Hi, I come with gifts today on this Tuesday.
Well, I'm not sure I want to accept.
It's fine.
I mean, aren't you the one? Aren't you the one who doesn't push Colucci picks outside of Thursday?
He texted me.
Okay.
Unsolicited.
Okay.
No pressure. I think he's eyeing down these teams that sort of need to kind of win for playoff positioning.
Okay.
And so that's what we're dealing with. Let's get that out the way first. 82% of the tickets at Bet Rivers on the Tampa Bay Lightning. A small line at home than usual. He's got Carolina plus 120.
Okay.
And then he's got the Penguins. Who on our staff looks closest to a Penguin, would you say?
Hanny?
Oh, Hanny gets everything. Yeah, he's free.
Mario?
Minus 65 against the New York Rangers. Carolina and the Penguins, they dropped the puck both in about 10 minutes at 6 p.m. Our time.
Well, Otter, I'm a little apprehensive, especially because I'm going to tell you, last night, you gave us Memphis, and they hit.
Yes.
You gave us the money line parlay with Memphis and Toronto, and it hit.
Memphis, Toronto, and Cleveland.
Oh, I thought you gave us Cleveland separately. Oh, so it was a 3-leg parlay.
Yes.
Oh, well, hot damn, the 3-leg parlay hit.
Yes.
I thought you gave Cleveland as a separate play to cover 8.5. I misheard, so I'm glad I didn't play that. But anyway, what a night. I'm just going, kind of just want to roll with the Otter. He's got the hot hand right now.
I failed to mention to you last night that because I was sensing just such a kill shot by Memphis, that I did lay 16 on the alternate line at plus 195.
Oh, wow.
Covered that by 28.
I mean, it was an annihilation last night, yes.
Yep. Here we go, 6 o'clock tip in the NBA tonight. Philadelphia 76ers, 1.5 over Milwaukee. Both are within range of that number 1 seed since James Harden has joined the crew. 3-7-1 against the spread. Milwaukee's at full strength. Give me the Bucks plus the 1.5.
Okay.
In the NBA slot there.
So you like a money line play, or do you want the point?
No, give me the 1.5. Give me the 1.5. It's not worth. I think it's like plus 105. I'd rather take that point. Buy the soup. Also, I'll lay extra 10 cents. Right. St. Bonaventure and Xavier. You know what they have in mind, Matt?
No.
that they have in common, they used to be in the same conference, the Atlantic 10, but then Xavier big brothered him and moved over to the Big East. It's basically the Catholic League in college basketball. So little brother syndrome here, maybe a little extra incentive for the Bonnies, -1.5, small play in the Bonnies in the first half. And Buzz Peterson's Aggies could have easily got into the tournament. They're playing really, really well. We know how they knocked out Arkansas and Auburn and Florida. And finally, ran into a wall against Tennessee in the finals of the SEC tournament. Finished strong. They've won all and covered all three. They've won all three of their NIT games by double digits. So is Washington State. But I'm going with A&M right now. They won it. And the one thing that I've been riding, 11-1 first half unders for Thursday through Sunday, Sweet 16 and Elite 8 games. I like this. Is it going to be a walk-off pace? A&M in Washington State, it's only 61 the first half, but under first half in a real slow-paced game, A&M in Washington State.
Otter, where are you tonight?
Smorgasbord for you tonight.
Where are you tonight, man?
Dozy Place, right down the street.
Great spot.
Street.
Go get you an old-fashioned. Go get you a steak, maybe a tamale. Be a good night to go see the Otter down the way. Otter, we appreciate all of the gifts. A smorgasbord of betting goodness. Have a great show, man. We'll talk to you tomorrow.
Thank you, Matthew.
That is the Otter. This is AFR. Muse, what'd you learn tonight?
The Justice Drop lives on.
Proud of it. Paulie, what'd you learn?
Brandon Ingram still uses a digital camera.
He does.
Good one, Paulie. What'd you learn, Matt?
The chair situation has been solved. We'll see you
tomorrow. AFR.
As we get on down the road, remind you about GMFS Mortgage, GMFSmortgage.com. Changing lives since 1999. You could save so much money, you wouldn't need to use a digital camera anymore like Brandon Ingram, which is so wild, by the way. Like the little zooming lens that comes in and out. It's like that big anyway. GMFSmortgage.com. They got local loan officers all over the state. So GMFS Mortgage is a local company. They're a Louisiana-born company, and they have offices all over Louisiana. So when we say largest local lender, the largest lender based out of Louisiana is GMFS Mortgage. Billions of dollars in loans. More than 100,000 Louisiana residents have been helped since they opened their doors back in 1999. Home buy, refi, construction loans, they do it all. But really, you got to focus right now on that refi. Man, lower your monthly mortgage payment. Skip a payment or two. Shorten the life of your mortgage. It's possible. A local loan officer from GMFS Mortgage can help. Log on today. GMFSmortgage.com.
At All-Star Toyota, you get it all. If you're in the market for an all-new Toyota vehicle, come see our friendly and knowledgeable sales team at All-Star Toyota. Located in Baton Rouge at the corner of Airline and Goodwood, we've been serving our community since 2005 by offering a large selection of new Toyota cars, trucks, and SUVs. Get behind the wheel of your dream car and take a test drive at All-Star Toyota today.
To the heroes who are working tirelessly to care for our communities, we thank you. We will never forget the countless hours you dedicated on the front lines, choosing to risk your own health to fight for our friends, neighbors, and family members.
I mean, you guys are out on the front lines, fighting it.
We are grateful for your heroic acts and unwavering spirit. Together, we are overcoming this adversity and make our state healthier and more vibrant again. Ochsner Health.
Motivation I